those relays. We've got more heats than in any previous session of the week coming up in this session. So it's great to have you with us, supporting your athletes. We begin with the men's 200 meters freestyle. And this morning we have 12 heats of men's 200 free. And in our first heat, we will have 3 swimmers competing. And we'll be competing in 2 different categories here. We have 2 swimmers in the para swimming classification S14 and 1 swimmer in 13-14 age group. Well, it looks like we're ready to begin our first heat then. Here we go, it's heat 1. Our swimmers here are William Newton for City of Coventry, Charlie Shaw for Reeds of Cobham, and William Reed of City of Swansea. In the outside of these 3 lanes, William Newton and William Reed are the S14 para swimmers, and they are competing for places in the S14 final that we'll have this evening. And Charlie Shaw, who's leading there, Charlie's in the 13-14 age group. It would be great if we could get all 3 swimmers under 2 minutes 10, I think. That would be a really good start to the day's competition. So Charlie Shaw in the middle here. As we come to the halfway turn, it's Shaw leading. And let's have a look at the split times. Shaw turning 61.01. William Reed turning 62.35. William Newton 62.91. Charlie Shaw, our leader, has a PB of 2:06.05. And if anyone can get a PB in the first heat of the day, that's a real significantly good swim. The very first heat's very hard to get all of the preparation absolutely correct. So Charlie Shaw, watch the clock, 2:06.05 would be a PB. Into the last 5 then, let's get under 2:06. 2:05.86, well done Charlie, PB. William Newton 2:08.39 and William Reed 2:11.48. So Charlie Shaw gets us off to a flying start on our final day with a new personal best time, a first ever swim under 2:06. William Newton and William Reed scoring 647 and 603 points respectively. Both qualify for the S14 final later. On we go to heat 2, and here we have 8 swimmers racing. In this heat, we have Oscar O'Connell for Blackpool Aquatics, Isaac Buchan for City of Norwich, Jack Wade for City of Leeds, Jason Lee for City of Birmingham, Daniel Staskus for Millfield, Will Nichols for Wigan Best, Oliver Dorey for Kingston Royals, and George Howard for City of Leicester. To the wall then, Will Nichols turning first in 28.13. In this heat, we have 7 swimmers from 13-14 age group, and we have 1 S14 para swimmer, and that's Isaac Buchan, 2 lanes from the top in lane 7. Now in this heat, under 2:07 is a good time for everybody. And turning first at halfway is Will Nichols, under 60 seconds. Only 1.2 seconds between the 8 swimmers at that turn. Will Nichols leading, then it's Oliver Dorey, Daniel Staskus, Isaac Buchan, Jason Lee, Jack Wade, Oscar O'Connell, George Howard. We'll get a few under 2:07, then we start thinking about PBs here. Maybe somebody can get under 2:04. Into the last 5 metres, a very storming finish from Will Nichols in 2:04.17. Second there was Daniel Staskus, 2:04.39. That's a new PB for Daniel. Isaac Buchan, 2:04.52, qualifies for the S14 final, and also registers a PB with 709 points. So Isaac Buchan qualifying there for the S14 final with 2:04.52 seconds. And in our next heat, we will start to qualify swimmers for the 13-14 final. Here we go, heat 3. Lane 9 is empty, so we have Rory McDonald for Guildford City, Frankie Zeitel for Barnet Copthall, Mihailo Vukovic for Ealing, Daniel Circuit for Basingstoke Bluefins, Kasper Novosielski for Ealing, Romeo Ball for Maidstone, Mark Liakis for Hillingdon, Jacob Thistlewood for Mount Kelly, and Jude Gunner for Norwich Swan. Jude Gunner in lane 0 is S14 para swimmer. And our other 7 swimmers in this heat, they are all in the 13-14 age group. Mark Liakis turning first. His split time there was 28.03 seconds. Mark down in lane 2, but I think he's now been overtaken by Rory McDonald, Frankie Zeitel, and Mihailo Vukovic. Up to halfway we go then. And leading now is Mihailo Vukovic. Liakis is actually down to second. So we would expect the first 3 or 4 in this heat to qualify for the 13-14 final, the way things stand. And the leader is now Mark Liakis, ahead of Vukovic and then Daniel Circuit. And coming into the wall now, Frankie Zaital is right up there as well. So Zaital, Vukovic and Liakis to the wall. Zaital gets there, 201.95, a new personal best. He'll be in the 13-14 final with that. Mark Liakis will qualify as well with 202.08. So here we go then, confirmation of the results. Frankie Zaital, 201.95, and Jude Gunner there, of course, 680 points, will qualify for the S14 final. Daniel Circuit, Mihailo Vukovic qualify for the 13-14 final with those times. This is Heat 4. We go on to Heat 4. Ten swimmers in Heat 4 are Oscar Earthroll for City of Brighton and Hove, James Graham for City of Liverpool, Amrit Lally for Bexley, Ethan Dwyer for City of Liverpool, Peter Fensom for Croydon Amphibians, Elijah Dunn for Swindon Dolphin, Lucas Douglas for Atlantis, Satoshi Bagger for Abingdon Vale, Aaron Castillo for City of Cardiff, and Xavier Zurban for Biggleswade. Lucas Douglas turning first ahead of Peter Fensom and then Amrit Lally. Aaron Castillo not far behind, neither was Ethan Dwyer. And we settle down now with Peter Fensom leading. At the second turn, now it's Lucas Douglas ahead of Satoshi Bagger, and then Ethan Dwyer, Peter Fensom and Amrit Lally. In this heat, we have 13-14 swimmers in 7 and 6, Amrit Lally and Ethan Dwyer. Lucas Douglas now leading by nearly 3/4 of a second ahead of Satoshi Bagger. Then it's Xavier Zurban. So Lucas Douglas and then Amrit Lally looks like he's in second place. Amrit's going to qualify for the 13-14 final here. And so too is Ethan Dwyer in lane 6. Lucas Douglas in 1:59.82. That's a first swim under 2 minutes for Lucas. Well done, PB. Satoshi Bagger with a PB, 201.48. Amrit Lally, 201.73 PB, qualifying for the final for 13-14 swimmers. And Ethan Dwyer, 202.00. I believe that qualifies for the final. We go on now to Heat 5. And in this heat, we have Thomas Rickles for City of Liverpool, Joshua Hutchinson for Woking, Jason van der Merwe for Newham University of East London, Julian Ocroy for Delting Dolphins, Benjamin Palmer for Bishop Stortford, Harry Willis for Newcastle Swim Team, Zachary Callanan for Maidenhead, Jackson Crabb for City of Leicester, Arlo Shaw for Bromley, and Oscar Madrell for Isle of Man. First to turn, Harry Willis. Most swimmers in this heat are in the 15 years age group, and we will get some qualifiers for the final here for the 15 years age group. We also have Oscar Madrell in the bottom lane, lane 0, and he is a 13-14 swimmer. And in lane 7, Jason van der Merwe, 3 lanes from the top of the picture. Jason's a para swimmer in the S14 classification and aiming for a place in the S14 final with this swim. Harry Willis, then Benjamin Palmer. Joshua Hutchinson was 3rd there. Julian Ocroy was 4th at that turn. Oscar Madrell at the bottom of the picture looks like he's on course to qualify for the 13-14 final. And Harry Willis, I would think, will get in the 15s final. Jason van der Merwe finishing very strongly, 3 lanes from the top of the screen. And he's on his way to the S14 final here. Into the last 10 metres. And it's Jackson Crabb who finishes first in 1:59.75. Jackson will be into the 15 years final with that time. Julian Ocroy, 3rd, will qualify for the 15 years final as well. Oscar Madrell will qualify for the 13s, 14s final with 2:00.23. They were PBs there for Jackson Crabb, Oscar Madrell, Julian Ocroy, just outside his PB, but he'll be in the 15s final with that time. And Jason van der Merwe there qualifying with 773 points for the S14 power swimming final. Everyone else will have to wait and see. As we go on to Heat 6. Our 10 swimmers here are Alfie Davis for Woking, Rowan Bissett for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Alexander Brown for Alnwick Dolphin, Henry Gillam for Camden Swiss Cottage, Alex Holmes for Glenrothes, Lachlan Murray for Wickham District, Jensen Pickett for City of Birmingham, Ethan Knights for Team Ipswich, Stuart Thompson for Perth City Swim Club, and Atai Parnes Molcho for Camden Swiss Cottage. Stuart Thompson leading at the turn from Pickett, and then Murray, and then Parnes Molcho. Ethan Knights in lane 2 is a 15-year swimmer, and Ethan in the blue cap, 3 lanes from the bottom of the screen, is trying to get into the 15s final with this swim. It's Thompson, then Parnes Molcho. Jensen Pickett is 3rd, Lachlan Murray 4th, Henry Gillam is 5th. Final turn then, and it's Stuart Thompson, followed by Jensen Pickett, then Atai Parnes Molcho. Henry Gillam in 4th place. Ethan Knight's turning 131.42. He's 10th at the moment in this heat, and he's trying to get into the 15s final. I'm not sure if he will with this swim. He's going to be outside 2 minutes by quite some distance. Into the wall, Jensen Pickett's first, 156.79. That's a new personal best. Atai Parnes Molcho, 157.26 PB. Henry Gillen, 158.39. Ethan Knight's finished in 2:03.85. And I don't think that will qualify for the 15s final. Confirmation then of all of those times. Jensen Pickett and Atai Parnes Molcho with personal best times then. On to Heat 7. In Heat 7, our swimmers are Robert Shipley for Middlesbrough, Maximus Major for Torfine Dolphins Performance, How She for City of Sheffield, Nebi Sengula for Highland Swim Team, Toby Hodgson for Leatherhead, Sam Brilker for Corby, Aidan Turner for Newcastle, Lucas Iwianya for Guildford City, Aidan Anderson for University of Aberdeen Performance, and James Biddick for Exeter City. And as you saw there, Sam Brilker turning first ahead of Toby Hodgson, Maximus Major. They were the first three at the turn. And in lane 4 now, it's Sam Brilker coming up to the halfway turn with Toby Hodgson and Aidan Turner in second and third. Followed by Maximus Major, How She, James Biddick, Lucas Iwianya, Aidan Anderson, Robert Shipley and Nebi Sengula. Into the final turn then. And we will know 3 more finalists for the 16 years after this heat. Toby Hodgson, the leader in lane 5, is one of those 16 years swimmers. It's Sam Brilker leading. Sam Brilker to the wall then in a time, a new PB of 155.37, a 2-second PB. Aidan Turner, 156.17. That's a season's best time. Lucas Iwianya, 157.5. PB finishing in third. For the 16-year-olds there, Toby Hodgson, 158.21. He'll have to wait and see if that's good enough for the final. James Biddick won't qualify for the 16 years final with that time. We go on to Heat 8. The swimmers in Heat 8 are Max Soshovsky for Millfield, Lachlan Small for Mount Kelly, Austin Manley for Repton, Joshua Drury for City of Birmingham, Daniel Belsey for Hatfield, Timothy Jones for Newquay Cormorants, Connor Aspinall for Warren de Baths, Solomon Silverstone for Pembrokeshire County, Frank Lamb for Millfield, and Thomas Wales for City of Sheffield. Solomon Silverstone turning first, and then it's Timothy Jones, Connor Aspinall, Frank Lamb, Austin Manley, and Max Soshovsky. Solomon Silverstone going well here in the 17s age group. And Solomon will turn first. We have a 16-year swimmer in lane 7, Austin Manley, swimming in this heat. And for Austin to qualify for the final for 16-year-olds, we probably need to be around the 1:55 mark, I would say. Solomon Silverstone, 1:25.43 is the leader.
Austin is the 7th ranked 16-year-old coming into the meet.
And now leading, it's Austin Manley. Austin's going to qualify, I would think, for the 16 years final. He'll make sure here of qualification if he can get under 1:55.4. So let's see, under 1:55.4 will get Austin Manley into the 16 years final. He does that, 1:55.22. So that's Austin Manley qualified. Everybody else here in the 17s and 18s will have to wait and see. So we confirm then those finishing times. Austin Manley, 1:55.22. It's a new personal best, and he's through to the 16s final. Solomon Silverstone, 1:55.62. That's a good time, a PB for him. On to heat 9. In this heat, we have Tarek Blook for Worcester, Rufus Parry for Wickham District, Dominic Workman for City of Liverpool, Rock Vela Obiols for Millfield, Ruben Thomas for Mount Kelly, Achilles Bella Omenyo for Guildford City, Oscar Hunter for Norwich Swan, Leo Talbot for Bolton Metro, Tom Belt for Mount Kelly, and Joseph Hall for City of Leeds. And turning first there in lane 9 on the far side of the screen is Tarek Blook, and Tarek is in the 16 years age group. There are 3 16-year swimmers in this heat. Tarek in 9. In lane 6, Rockvella Obiols. And in lane 2, Leo Talbot. So Tarek Blook out in front then. One of the 16-year swimmers. The rest of this field are 17s and 18s. It's Blook in 54.90. Leo Talbot is second of the 16-year-olds there with 56.24. And Rockvella Obiols is third of those 16-year-olds in 57.07. Coming up to the final turn, it's Oscar Hunter turning second behind Tarek Blook. Here we go then into the final 25. Tarek Blook is going to qualify for the 16s final. Tarek's PB was 1:56.75, so now 1:54.04, a massive PB, and that puts Tarek into his final. And Leo Talbot's 1:56 his time there. Leo Talbot should qualify with that time for the 16 years final. We go on to heat 10. We're into circle seeded heats now, 3 heats left. In this heat, we have 9 swimmers racing. That's Henry Shepherd of Bromley on the far side. Then the empty lane. In 7, Charlie Phipps for Millfield. Then it's Morgan Davis for Mount Kelly. David Annis for University of Stirling. Freddie Ashley Sparks for Wickham District. Jordan Cooley for Loughborough University. James Froggatt for City of Birmingham. Daniel Codaverdi for Stockport Metro. And Caden Frampton for Millfield. After 75 metres, it looks like Charlie Phipps now cruising into the lead. And as we come to the halfway turn then, it's Phipps and Freddie Ashley Sparks first and second, then Jordan Cooley, David Annis, Daniel Codaverdi, Henry Shepherd, James Froggatt, Morgan Davis and Caden Frampton in that order. Now coming up to join the leading 2, David Annis. It's Ashley Sparks, then Phipps, then Annis, and fourth at the turn, Jordan Cooley, then Daniel Codaverdi and Morgan Davis, James Froggatt, Henry Shepherd, and Caden Frampton. We have a 15-year swimmer here, Charlie Phipps, 3 lanes from the top of the screen. And in the outside lanes, we have 16-year swimmers. We should get some other qualifiers here as well. Freddie Ashley Sparks, 1:49.59. Then David Annis in 1:51.14. Our first 3 there should all qualify for the 19s and overs final, I would expect, as we wait for confirmation of the times. Charlie Phipps qualifies for the 15 years final with 1:52.46. And in the 16 years age group there, Henry Shepherd 1:56.23. He qualifies for the 16 years final. On to heat 11, 2 heats left. In this heat, we have 9 swimmers. Harry Chandler in 9 for Worcester. Hugh Mason-Williams for City of Birmingham. Matthias Christoph for Mount Kelly. Monty Smith for Wickham District. Then the empty lane. In 4, it's Angelo Gianni Contini for Loughborough University. Then it's Llewellyn Porter for Camden Swiss Cottage. Lucas Gallant-Dracy for Mount Kelly. Jack Bamborough for City of Cardiff. And Xander Tovey for Millfield. At halfway, Matthias Christoph leading in 54.69 seconds.
There are only 11 entries in the 19 years head break. That means at the bottom one.
Coming up to the final turn then. We have a 16-year-old in this heat, Xander Tovey, in lane 0. Xander Tovey, in order to qualify for the 16-year final, he needs to swim under 1:55.11. That's Xander Tovey in lane 0. As we watch into the wall then, in lane 4, the heat is won by Angelo Gianni Contini in 1:52.00. Matthias Christoph, 153.09 in the 17-18 age group. So, Angelo Giannicontini qualifies for the 19s and overs final. In the 17s and 18s, Matthias Christoph qualifies, Monty Smith qualifies, and Llewellyn Porter qualifies. From earlier heats, Daniel Codaverde, Oscar Hunter, and Bello Armenio qualify. Xander Tovey qualifies for the 16 years final with 157.31, and we have one final heat to come. Heat 12. And we have 9 swimmers here. Jack Bignell for Northampton, Ruben Rowbottom Keating for Loughborough University, Oliver Gillett for Swansea University, Harry Wynne Jones for Loughborough University, Maxwell Adams for Wickham District, Matthew Baker for University of Bath, Josh Denham for University of Stirling, Oliver Murray for Millfield, Vinnie Owen for City of Cardiff. We are split across 2 age groups here. In the outside 4 lanes, on the far side, in 9 and 8, Jack Bignell and Ethan Porter, and the near side, Oliver Murray and Vinnie Owen. They are 17-18 swimmers. In the middle of the pool, we have 19s and overs swimmers. So our leader in lane 4 is Maxwell Adams. Maxwell turning in 51.92. Matthew Baker second at that turn, 53.34. So Maxwell Adams leading the way. Our first 4 swimmers are all in the 19s and overs category. Leading the 17s and 18s here, Oliver Murray. So these two in the middle, Maxwell Adams and Harry Wynne Jones, they're both in the 19s and overs. They are both going to qualify comfortably for their final. And also qualifying will be Oliver Gillett. 152.06. So that completes the heats. So our winning time, Matthew Baker, 150.39 qualifies. Harry Wynne Jones qualifies. Maxwell Adams qualifies for the final. Further down there, Oliver Gillett, Josh Denham and Ruben Rowbottom Keating, they all qualify for the 19s and overs final. For 17s and 18s there, Oliver Murray qualifies. Vinnie Owen qualifies. Jack Bignell will miss out with 156.84. From earlier heat, Sam Brilker and Solomon Silverstone qualify. Solomon Silverstone qualifies by 1/100th of a second for the 17-18s final. And we may well have a swim-off for 11th place in the 16 years age group. But otherwise, all finalists are confirmed. So that completes the men's 200 metres freestyle. Our next event is women's 200 metres backstroke. Three swimmers in heat 1. The 3 swimmers here in lane 5, Paulina Korotkova for Swim Bournemouth. In 4, Aria Sabado for Basildon and Phoenix. And in lane 3, Millie Slade for Exeter City. All three swimmers in this heat are 13-14 age group swimmers. And we'd like to get under 2 minutes 30 for all three of these swimmers, I would say. Millie Slade leading, then it's Polina Korotkova and Aria Sabadoh. All 13 and 14 age group swimmers, these three. Millie Slade at halfway in 109.63. Then it's Polina Korotkova and Aria Sabadoh, second and third. Millie Slade will turn first at 150 metres then. 148.01. Millie is going to be very close to her personal best with this swim. Millie Slade's PB is 227.60. This could well be a new lifetime best time for Millie Slade, closest to us. So 227.60 would be a PB for Millie Slade into the last 5 metres. And it is 226.29. Polina Korotkova, 227.62. And Aria Sabadoh, 229.61. And here we go. Millie Slade, 226.29. That has a potential for qualifying for the 13-14 final. So we'll keep an eye on those times as we go on to Heat 2. In Heat 2, we have 10 swimmers competing. In 9, that's Mia Hayes for Linslade Crusaders. In 8, Ella Derbyshire for Stockport Metro. In 7, Martha Manson for Repton. In 6, Alana Henry for Killer Whales. In 5, Sian Headley for Nova Centurion. Then it's Orla Gibbon for City of Sheffield. Emily England Hall, City of Leeds. Daisy Darcy for City of Liverpool. Grace Manning for Basildon and Phoenix. And Elsie Hatton for Repton. In this heat, we have swimmers from the 13s and 14s. In 9, Mia Hayes. 8, Ella Derbyshire. 7, Martha Manson. 3, Emily England Hall. 1 and 0, Grace Manning and Elsie Hatton. And remember, the fastest time so far for a 13-14 swimmer is 226.29. At the halfway turn, our leader in lane 6 is Alana Henry in 69.58 seconds. We're around the same time, the same pace that we had in the previous heat. So Alana Henry turning first here. Alana Henry 147.34. We're around the same pace that we had in the previous heats. So the time to beat is 226.29 to be ahead of the previous heats. Into the wall we come with Alana Henry, 224.39, so we are slightly quicker there. Ella Derbyshire, 225.25 with a PB. I should say it's a PB for Alana Henry as well by a couple of seconds. Sian Headley, 225.34 PB. Elsie Hatton finished fourth in 227.55. Alana Henry will have to wait and see if 224.39 qualifies for the 15 years final. Ella Derbyshire will have to wait and see if 225.25 qualifies for the 13s and 14s final. And we will find out in our next heat. Because we now have some more 13-14 swimmers here. In this heat, we have Holly Relf for Cockermouth, Isla Liptrots for Wigan Best, Lily Steele for Team Ipswich, Megan Ormiston for Stockport Metro, Isla Coletta for Repton Swimming, Sophia Westhead for Bolton Metro, Amelie Mirza for Wickham District, Chloe Brotherton for South Tyneside, Georgia Alcock for St George's Ascot, and Rebecca Malling for Bells Hill Sharks. Amelie Mirza in lane 3, leading the way. 32.61 seconds. And in second, Georgia Alcock at the moment, 2 lanes from the bottom of the screen. Amelie Mirza, the leader, is a 13-14 swimmer. The other 13-14s in this heat, in lane 9, Holly Relf, lane 8, Isla Liptrots, and lane 5, Isla Coletta. We should know after this heat our first 3 finalists for the 13 and 14 age group. Isla Liptrots now coming into contention with Lily Steele on the far side of the pool in lanes 8 and 7. For the 13-14 swimmers, if they swim under 225.25, they will definitely be in the final. That's certain. So if you're watching for your 13-14 swimmers there, if it's Holly Relf, Isla Liptrots, Isla Coletta, Amelie Mirza, 225.25 is the target. It's Megan Ormiston in the 16 years age group who's coming into the wall. She's got a PB of 224.38 and she beats that, 223.76. Lily Steele is second. She is also 16. Isla Coletta will qualify for the 13-14 final with her time of 224.74. Also qualifying there, Isla Liptrots in 225.11. Amelie Mirza qualifies as well Holly Relf will have to wait and see with 2:26.30. And everybody else has to wait and see if their times will be quick enough for the finals. The only guaranteed qualifiers there are in the 13-14 age group: Isla Coletta, Isla Liptrot and Amelie Mirza. Next is Heat 4. In this heat, it is Amy Fielding for Camden Swiss Cottage, Megan Ferris for Cumbernauld, Maddie Markle for Guildford City, Sophie Smith for City of Sheffield, Camilla Holland for Wigan Best, Millie Searle for Gary, Maya Fitzharding for Camden Swiss Cottage, Rosie Roberts for Torfine Dolphins Performance, Emilia Spence for City of Birmingham, and Mia Garner for Borough of Harrow. And it looks like Mia Garner will turn first in lane 0. We have 3 swimmers in this heat from the 13-14 age group in lanes 8, 7 and 2. Megan Ferris, Maddie Markle and Rosie Roberts. We have 6 swimmers, from the 15 years age group in 6, 5, 4, 3, 1 and 0. Sophie Smith, Camilla Holland, Millie Searle, Maya Fitzharding and Emilia Spence and Mia Garner. We will get 3 qualifiers for the 13-14 final and 3 qualifiers for the 15s final after this heat. So they'll either be the fastest swimmers in those age groups in this heat or swimmers from previous heats who claim those positions. And leading is Amy Fielding for Camden Swiss Cottage, who's a 16 years swimmer. Let's have a look at Amy Fielding then in lane 9. 146.39. I'm not sure if this will be quite quick enough for Amy Fielding to get into the 16 years final. I think she would need to be under 220 really to be challenging for that. In lane 3, Maya Fitzharding looks like she's going to qualify for the 15 years final. And Mia Garner in lane 0 should qualify as well. Camilla Holland maybe in lane 5. Into the wall then, and it's Amy Fielding, 2:23.81, the season's best time. Mia Garner was second, 2:25.45. So Mia Garner in the 15 years age group, 2:25.45. Let's check. I think that does qualify for the 15 years final. It will qualify. Maya Fitzharding, 2:25.93. And she'll have to wait and see. Mia Garner qualifies. Millie Searle disqualified there. So in the 15 years age group, Mia Garner qualifies. Maya Fitzharding will have to wait and see. In the 16 years age group, Amy Fielding will also have to wait and see with 2:23.81. So only Mia Garner in the 15 years age group there, guaranteed to qualify. In the 13s and 14s there, Rosie Roberts and Megan Ferris will both have to wait and see with 2:28.13 and 2:28.21. Well, Megan Ferris won't qualify. She won't be in the top 10 with that. Rosie Roberts will qualify if there are no faster 13 and 14-year-olds to come in the remaining heats. This is heat 5. In heat 5, we have Ava Hands for Nuneaton and Bedworth, Megan Daniel for Carradon, Lucy Raper for Morpeth, Poppy Worthington for Mount Kelly, Ellie Bath Werrenalp for Chelmsford City, Megan Johnson for Aylesbury and District, Matilda Bassindale for Portsmouth North Sea, Grace Nichols for Pembrokeshire County, Ava Edwards for Plymouth Leander, and Sophia Prosser for Torfine Dolphins Performance. It's Grace Nichols in lane 2, turning first in 32.82, ahead of Ava Hands. And then Ellie Bath Werrenalp, only half a second between first, second and third at the turn. Sophia Prosser in the lane closest to us is in the 13-14 age group. Sophia will definitely qualify for the 13-14 final if she swims a time under 2:25.25. So 2:25.25 will guarantee a place in the final for Sophia Prosser in the 14s. In the 15-year age group here, we have Ava Hands in 9, Lucy Raper in 7, and Ava Edwards in lane 1. Really, to be guaranteed a place in the 15 years final, as a rule of thumb at the moment, 2:24.39 would qualify. So our leader is Ellie Bath Werrenalp now in lane 5, then Grace Nichols, then Lucy Raper, Poppy Worthington. Ellie Bath Werrenalp is in the 16 years age group, our leader, and coming back fast is Poppy Worthington in the 17s and 18s. Ellie Bath Werrenalp then, she's got a PB of 2:23.75. She didn't miss that by much, 2:24.40. Then it's Poppy Worthington, 2:24.80. Lucy Raper, 2:24.81. Will qualify for the 15 years final there. Grace Nichols is in the 16 years age group. Lucy Raper qualifies, and Ava Hands qualifies for the 15 years final. From an earlier heat, Maya Fitzharding is now into the 15 years final for sure. In the 13-14 age group there, Sophia Prosser will have to wait and see with 2:27.77, but from an earlier heat, Elsie Hatton is now guaranteed a place in the 13-14 final as a result of those times. On to heat 6. Our swimmers here are Jemima Saul for Portsmouth North Sea, Lucy Douglas for Guildford City, Zara Kraviec for East Lothian, Lisa McNair for Stirling Swimming, Emily Collins, who's leading for Guildford City, Elsa Dodds for Tigers of Jersey, Emily Hall for Warrington Warriors, who looks like she's probably second at the moment, Grace Clear for Whitney and District, Amy Hempenstall for Guildford City, and Nicole Maynard for Basildon and Phoenix. It's Emily Collins, then Emily Hall at the turn. Swimmers here are in 16s and 17s, 18s age groups. We won't have any guaranteed qualifiers from this heat. The 16-year-old swimmers are in lane 8, Lucy Douglas, 5, Emily Collins, 4, Elsa Dodds, 3, Emily Hall, and everybody else, they are 17, 18 swimmers. Emily Collins, Grace Clear, Elsa Dodds, Jemima Saul. This is the order at that turn. Nicole Maynard, Amy Hempenstall, Emily Hall, Lisa McNair, Lucy Douglas, then Zara Kraviec. Emily Collins now opening a significant lead.
Yourself in the top 10 as a 16-year-old, you're looking to go 2:22.5 or under.
Emily Collins then 1:43.74. We could go under 2:20 here for Emily Collins, and that would be a PB. A PB is 2:21.44. And I think this is going to be the fastest 16-year swim so far. It's going to give Emily Collins a chance of a place in the final. So the PB for Emily, 2:21.44, and it's 2:20.34. So a new PB. Zara Kraviec, 2:21.76. That's a PB. Grace Clear, 2:22.43. That's a PB. Elsa Dodds was fourth there in 2:23.56. So Emily Collins is now our fastest 16-year-old, and she's got a chance of qualifying. Elsa Dodds has a chance of qualifying for that 16-year final, 2:23.56. They both have to wait and see. Zara Kraviec, second there. She's now our leading 17-18 swimmer, and might get into the 17-18s final with that time as well. And we'll let you know when swimmers do qualify from earlier heats as we go through. On we go to heat 7. The swimmers here are Darcy Platts for City of Leicester. Not a great start in lane 6 there. Elise Butler is in 8. Grace Robinson for Norwich Swan is in 7. Elise Butler for Maidstone. Summer Smith in 6. Didn't get a great start for Basildon and Phoenix. In 5, Summer Martin for Wickham District. In 4, Asher Mahanta for Worcester. I think our leader is in lane 3, Grace McDonald for Grantham. In 2, it's Tyler J. Thomas for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson. In 1, Sophia Stoyanova for Bromley, who is the leader at the turn. And in lane 0, Matilda Biggs for Winchester City Penguins. We have a 13-14 swimmer in this heat in lane 8. That is Elise Butler. And also in lane 2, Tyler J. Thomas. We have a 15-year swimmer in lane 6, Summer Smith. And we also have 16-year swimmers, Matilda Biggs, Summer Martin in lanes 0 and 5. We should know one of the swimmers to qualify for the 16 years final after this heat. It will either be the fastest 16-year-old in this heat or Emily Collins from a previous heat, who will be guaranteeing a place in the 16 years final after we see the times here. At the 150-metre turn, it's Stoyanova and then Mahanta and Grace Robinson. Only a second between those three at the split time there. And our leading three are all in the 17-18 age group. We're watching for the 16-year swimmers, remember, in 5 and 0. And it's Summer Martin leading those two. Into the wall we come then. And it's Grace Robinson who touches first in 2:20.67, a PB. Asha Mahanta, 2:21.74 PB. Sofia Stoyanova, 2:26.42. The fastest 16-year-old there was Summer Martin, 2:22.82. And Summer will have to wait and see if that time's good enough to qualify for the final. Emily Collins from a previous heat, from the last heat, is now qualified for the 16 years final as a result of those times. Summer Smith there in 8th place qualifies for the 15 years final. The 2:13-14 year swimmers both qualify for their final. Elise Butler qualifying and Tyler J. Thomas also qualifying. And everybody else has to wait and see if their times would be quick enough to get into their respective age group finals. On we go to Heat 8. In this heat, we have Rachel Ho for City of Birmingham, Erin Barber for Norwich Swan, Elizabeth Land for Morpeth, Eve Parkin for Tadcaster York Sports, Aoife Dwight-Clark for Noffia Gwynedd Performance, Annabelle Cook, City of Sheffield, Emily Pitcher for Norwich Swan, Jessica Jones for Warrington Warriors, Saskia Spencer for Crawley, and Autumn Claxton for Stockport Metro. Aoife Dwight-Clark turning first in 32.04. In 5th place there, Autumn Claxton. She's a 15-year swimmer. We also have 16-year swimmers in 9, 8 and 1. They are Rachel Ho, Erin Barber and Saskia Spencer. Aoife Dwight-Clark leading. Then it's Eve Parkin and then Erin Barber in lane 8. At the halfway turn, it's Aoife Dwight-Clark, 67.38 seconds.
There's been one strong swim, for instance.
Going well now in lane 6, Eve Parkin, and in 8, Erin Barber. Looks like they will be right up there with Aoife Dwight-Clark at this turn. Now leading 2 there, Dwight-Clark and Parkin are in the 17s, 18s age group. Erin Barber is leading the 16-year-olds, and Rachel Ho is second of the 16-year-olds. Autumn Claxton turning in 148.11 in the 15 years.
Will be lane 6, I should think, here. Eve Parkin now pushing through on 150.
So Eve Parkin and Erin Barber just ahead of Aoife Dwight-Clark. Eve Parkin 2:20.02, a new PB. Erin Barber 2:20.69 PB. Aoife Dwight-Clark 2:20.80, that's a PB. Rachel Ho 2:23.18. So let's see who qualifies here. Let's do the calculations. In the 17th, 18th, Eve Parkin is now the fastest swimmer. She'll have to wait and see. Erin Barber qualifies. Rachel Ho qualifies in the 16 years final. Summer Martin from a previous heat qualifies now as well for the 16 years final. Autumn Claxton qualifies for the 15 years final with 2:25.15. So qualifiers there. Autumn Claxton, Erin Barber, Rachel Ho. Everybody else has to wait and see. We have 4 heats left. And in this next heat, we will have 1 swimmer from the 13-14 age group, 1 from the 15s. In Heat 9, the swimmers are Olivia O'Mahony for Cockermouth, Ruthie Galloway for City of Oxford, Constance Logan for City of Brighton and Hove, Lexi Mulcahy for Plymouth College Aquatics, Tegan Matthews for Guildford City, Molly McGinley for Repton, Holly Wayman for Repton, Gabrielle Freeman for Morpeth, Petra Varga for Wirral Metro, and Darcy Jackson for Tadcaster York Sports. Molly McGinley's right up there at the turn, so too Darcy Jackson and Gabrielle Freeman. We have 13-14 swimmer Molly McGinley in lane 4. We have 15-year swimmer Lexi Mulcahy in lane 6. For Molly McGinley to qualify for her final, she will need to swim faster than 2:27.62. And Molly McGinley turning there in 69.34. And I would say that means she is comfortably going to qualify here, Molly McGinley, for the 13-14 final. Lexi Mulcahy in 69.57 in the 15 years. She will need to go faster than 2:25.68 to qualify. Molly McGinley, Lexi Mulcahy in lane 6. And Lexi turning in 1:46.69, which I reckon means she is going to qualify pretty comfortably as well. So I think we have 2 qualifiers here in lanes 4 and in lane 6, Molly McGinley and Lexi Mulcahy for their respective age groups. Our leader here is Gabrielle Freeman. Gabrielle has a PB of 2:16.55, 2:18.81. Then Darcy Jackson in 2:20.58. That's a new PB. Constance Logan, 2:20.81, season's best time. We're looking out here then for Molly McGinley and Lexi Mulcahy. Lexi Mulcahy is now the leading swimmer in the 15 years age group with 2:23.27, so she qualifies for her final. Only one more 15-year swimmer to come. Molly McGinley is the fastest, qualified for the 13-14s final now. And the 13s, 14s final is now complete. Molly McGinley, Elise Butler, Isla Coletta, Isla Liptrot, Amelie Merzer, Ella Derbyshire, Millie Slade, Holly Relf, Tyler J. Thomas, and Elsie Hatton. That's the first final that is completed. We have 3 heats left. This is heat 10, a circle-seeded heat, so we've got fast swimmers now in the middle. In this heat, it is Lily Rose Carr for City of Lincoln Pentaqua, Emma Cushion for City of Peterborough, Charlotte Gower, City of Coventry, Sophie Moore for City of Cambridge, Isabel Mather for City of Cambridge, Amy Jones for Leatherhead, Ines Grimond-Beetham for Camden Swiss Cottage, Clementine Lovell for Mount Kelly, Erin Perman for Exeter City, and Catherine Williams for Wickham District. Sophie Moore is going to turn first in lane 6. 31.74 seconds. Sophie's in the 19s and overs. We could get a couple of 19 and over swimmers qualifying for their final from this heat. We have 16-year swimmers in lanes 8, 4 and 1. Emma Cushion, Amy Jones and Erin Perman. To qualify for the 16 years final, as a rule of thumb, I think you need to be under 223. So that's just a rule of thumb for those 16 years swimmers to get under 223. And that would guarantee a place in the final. Anything slower than that, and we will have to do some calculations. Sophie Moore overtaken now by Clementine Lovell. 142.11 for Clementine. We're ahead of the pace from the previous heat. So we're looking for times around 2:17, 2:16, 2:15 maybe for our fastest swimmers here. Clementine Lovell closest to us. And then Amy Jones finishing strongly. Amy Jones 2:17.04. Sophie Moore 2:17.68. Clementine Lovell 2:17.82. And then we're looking for qualifiers. First of all, in the 19s and overs, Sophie Moore qualifies with 2:17.68. Isabel Mather, 10th there, qualifies for the 19s and overs final. Clementine Lovell, 3rd there. She qualifies for the 17-18s final with her time, 2:17.82. And in the 16 years age group, all 3 16-year swimmers qualify for the final there. Amy Jones, Erin Perman and Emma Cushion are all qualified for their final. We have 2 heats left. This is heat 11. We have 9 swimmers in this heat. B. Jones for the University of Birmingham, Fruka Ludwig for Loughborough University, Libby Monday for City of Sheffield Swim Squad, Evelyn Hallisey for Newcastle Swim Team, Martina Karabach for Camden Swiss Cottage, Darcy Smith for Portsmouth North Sea, Millie Wells for Loughborough University, Ellen Winstanley for City of Hereford, and Jessica Hill for Tiverton. We have 16-year swimmers in lane 4, Darcy Smith, and lane 1, Jessica Hill. We have 17, 18 swimmers in 8, 6, 5 and 2. Fruka Ludwig, Evelyn Hallisey, Martina Karabach and Ellen Winstanley. And in the 19s and overs, it's B. Jones, Libby Monday in 9 and 7. And in 3, Millie Wells. So swimmers across 3 age groups here. First to turn, Millie Wells in the 19s and overs. Second to turn, Martina Karabach in 17s, 18s. And third to turn, Darcy Smith in the 16 years age group. Coming up to the final turn then, we have a leading group of 3. Martina Karabach, Darcy Smith and Millie Wells, with Libby Monday just behind. In terms of the 16 years swimmers, Darcy Smith in lane 4 is coming through very strongly and should qualify for her final. Darcy Smith will definitely qualify if she goes under 220.69 as we come into the wall. So Darcy Smith qualifies for the 16 years final in 216.52. Martina Karabach 216.87. And she will qualify with that for the 17th, 18th final. Millie Wells 217.99 qualifies for the 19s and overs. So our first 3 swimmers there, all qualifying for their finals. Libby Monday also qualifying. Ellen Winstanley qualifies. Evelyn Hallisey qualifies. Fruka Ludwig qualifies. Jessica Hill qualifies. And B. Jones qualifies. All 9 of those swimmers have made it through to their finals. All 9 swimmers there qualifying for their age group finals. From earlier heats in the 17s and 18s, those results also mean that Gabrielle Freeman, Catherine Williams and Charlotte Gower qualify for the 17-18 final. Here's our final heat. In the final heat then, it's Jessica Hum for University of Bath, Ellie Hull for City of Birmingham, Amber Rigg for Dumfries, Susie McNair for University of Stirling, Candice Hall for City of Sheffield Swim Squads, Neve Ward for University of Bath, Fenella Woodis for Repton. Then we have 2 empty lanes, and then Lois Smith for Basildon and Phoenix. And the fact that we have 2 swimmers not swimming from the 17-18 age group, that means that Evelyn Hallisey and Eve Parkin from previous heats will qualify for their final for 17s and 18s. So Evelyn Hallisey from the last heat qualifies, and also Eve Parkin is also in. Eve Parkin swam in heat 8. She'll be back for the final for the 17s and 18s. Neve Ward is leading here. Neve is in the 19s and overs. So too Candice Hall, who turned second there. Amber Riggs, a 17s, 18s swimmer. Ellie Hull in lane 8 is a 15 years swimmer. And we also have Lois Smith, a 16 years swimmer in lane 0. Neve Ward is on her way to the 19s and overs final. So too is Candice Hall with these times. And Susie McNair. Amber Riggs should be making it to the 17-18 final with this pace. Fenella Woodis should be making it to the 17-18 final as well. Ellie Hull should qualify for the 15. We might have 8 qualifiers here for finals. They're all going fast enough for that, I think. Lane 4 then is Neve Ward. And Neve in the 19s and overs will qualify with a time under 2:24. So Neve Ward would actually be the fastest qualifier for the 19s and overs. Candice Hall qualifies. Susie McNair qualifies. Fenella Woodis in the 17s and 18s, 2:18.6 qualifies. 5th there was Amber Rigg. And Amber Rigg in the 17s and 18s just misses out on her final by 11/100ths of a second. Lois Smith's in the 16 years final. Ellie Hull's the fastest qualifier for the 15 years final with that time of 2:21.64. And Jessica Hum qualifies for the 19s and overs final with that time of 2:23.30. Great swims there in our last few heats. Well done, everyone. And our next heat is the men's 50 meters backstroke. Men's 50 meters backstroke, butterfly. Men's 50 fly. In the men's 50 fly, we have 9 heats to swim. There are no 13, 14-year-olds in our 50-meter events. So our youngest swimmers are 15 years old. Two of our swimmers in this first heat are in the 15 years age group. They are Zachary Callanan and George Harrison. They're the two swimmers closest to us in 3 and 4. Patrick O'Hara and Monty Smith are our other swimmers in this heat. And they are respectively in the 16s and the 17s age group. So this is heat 1, men's 50 meters butterfly. The swimmers are Monty Smith, who's had a great start there, Patrick O'Hara, Zachary Callanan and George Harrison. Monty Smith in the 17-year age group, and 17, 18-year age group, to qualify for the 17-18 final, I think you really need to be going under 25 seconds. So let's see, can Monty Smith get to that level? Not quite, 25.90. It's a great time though. It's a new PB for Monty Smith by 3/4 of a second. Patrick O'Hara had never swum under 28, and there he goes with 26.67. And in the 15 years age group there, Zachary Callanan, 27.47 PB, and George Harrison, 28.06 PB. 4 PBs in heat 1. And laying down the markers in their respective age groups as we go on to heat 2. The swimmers are Ivan Igemoni, Luke Nevin Suarez, Noah Willer, Nathan Broadwater, Elijah Dunn, Oliver Ratchford, Lachlan Murray, Reese Linger, Charles Yao and Andrew Noakes. And it's Noah Willer in 7 leading the way here. And coming through now, Oliver Ratchford. So it's Willer and Ratchford in 7 and 4. And in 5, Elijah Dunn. Elijah Dunn gets second. Noah Willer, 26.58. That's a massive PB by 0.92 of a second for Noah Willer. He qualifies for the 15 years final with that. Elijah Dunn qualifies for the final. Oliver Ratchford qualifies. Rieslinger will have to wait and see. At the moment, he's 1/100th of a second outside qualifying. And Lachlan Murray will have to wait and see with 27.21 for the 16 year swimmers. 3 qualifiers there for finals. Noah Willer, Elijah Dunn and Oliver Ratchford. On to heat 3. In this heat, we have Jaden Phillips for Newman University of East London, Leo Maros. Then there's the empty lane. Then it's George Bailey, Alfie Owen, Zach Walker, Tarek Bluck, Edward Henwood, Jake Battle and Brogan Smith. Edward Henwood in 2. Up with the leaders. Coming through now, Zach Walker in 4. It's Edward Henwood, though, I would say, leading at the moment. And he touches 3rd because Tarek Blook and Jake Battle timed their finishes slightly better. Tarek in the 16 years age group. We'll get some qualifiers for the 15 years final there. Jake Battle qualifies for the 15 years final. Also qualifying for the 15 years final, Zach Walker, Brogan Smith and Leo Maros. Rieslinger from the last heat does now know he will be swimming in the 15 years final. Everybody else there has to wait and see. On to heat 4. The swimmers are Owen Wilson, Thomas Woofenden, Austin Manley, Maximus Major, Jacob Bacon, Harrison Galloway, Benjamin Beale, Nikolai Cisnet, Jack Hurst and Solomon Silverstone. And Nikolai Cisnet is an arm length ahead of everyone else at the moment. Now coming through in 5 and 4, Jacob Bacon and Harrison Galloway. But it's Cisnet and then Bacon and maybe Austin Manley in 7. Austin Manley joint 2nd with Jacob Bacon there. Nikolai Cisnet winning the heat in 25.72. Nikolai winning that one. He is in the 16 years age group. We'll get some 16 years qualifiers now. Nikolai Cisnet qualifies. Austin Manley qualifies. Jacob Bacon qualifies. Benjamin Beale will have to wait and see. Jack Hurst qualifies from that heat for the 15 years final. On to heat 5. We have 9 swimmers competing. Harry Langford, Ewan Cox, Adam Michael, Will Gibson, Oliver Davey, Malachi Woods, Roman Levchenko, Azret Delanin and Matthew Costa de Sar. And in lane 0, Matthew Costa de Sar going very strongly. Now coming through in 3, Malachi Woods. And who's going to time the finish? Azret Delanin qualifying there for the 16-year final with 25.90. That's the only guaranteed qualifier from that heat. Azret Delanin qualifies for the 16 years final. Everybody else has to wait and see. Malachi Woods' time there, 25.92. Azret Delanin had a PB, first ever swim under 26 seconds. Matthew Costa de Sar, PB as well, in 3rd place. On to heat 6. The swimmers are Elliot Hughes, Achilles Bella Omenyo, Ethan Collins, Amir Jelbawi, Jasper Harrison, Benedict McCarthy, Jaden Carter, Harley Williams, Oscar Winterburn and Ronnie Edwards. And in lane 4 is Benedict McCarthy going strongest. Achilles Bella Omenyo in 8, looking good here. And then in 0, Ronnie Edwards into the wall. It was Ronnie Edwards first, McCarthy 2nd, Bella Omenyo finishing 3rd. Jaden Carter, 26.34, qualifies for the 15 years final with that time. Elliot Hughes finishing 9th in 26.49. And he'll have to wait and see. I don't think that will qualify for the 16 years final. Ronnie Edwards, Benedict McCarthy have a chance of getting in the 17-18s final with their times as we go on to heat 7, the first circle seeded heats. In this heat, it is Samuel Andrews, Ruben Alty, then the empty lane. James Kilpatrick, Maddox Roberts, Jamie Ingram, Christopher Finch, Colton Dorfeld, Henry Dean, and Elliot Dunnett. And it's Maddox Roberts leading from Jamie Ingram. We have 16-year swimmer Samuel Andrews in this heat. Into the wall, Maddox Roberts, 24.11. Jamie Ingram second, 24.37. Colton Dorfeld third. We're looking in ninth place there for Samuel Andrews, a 16-year swimmer, and he qualifies for the 16 years final. Qualifying there, Maddox Roberts, Jamie Ingram, and Christopher Finch. They're all in the 19s and overs final. And for the 17s, 18, Colton Dorfield, Ruben Alty qualify. Elliot Dunnett and James Kilpatrick have to wait for other times. 2 heats to come. This is heat 8. The swimmers here are Andrew Hunter, Ben Barnes, Alfie Price, Xander Tovey, Shakil Jordani, Kieran Grant, Shi Gong, Thomas Lydiard, Ralph Sarecki and Nebi Sengula. And Kieran Grant swimming well away here in the 19s and overs category. Kieran's going to qualify for the 19s and overs final with that 23.28. He's now the fastest ranked swimmer in that age group. 23.28. Great time. Qigong, 24.56. Will qualify for the 19s and overs. Shakil Jordani qualifies. Thomas Lydiard qualifies. In the 17s and 18s there, Alfie Price is into the final. Andrew Hunter's into the final. And it means Elliot Dunnett from an earlier heat qualifies for the final as well. And in the 16 years there, Xander Tovey qualifies, Ben Barnes qualifies, Nebi Sengula qualifies for the 16 years final. Final heats, heat 9. In the final heat, Sam Brilker, Toby Hodgson, Aidan Cannon, Harry Chandler, Joshua Shepherd, Joshua Gammon, Alessandro D'Onofrio, Rio Dowdu, Archie Tebbett, and Mario Vasconcelos Blanche. And it's Josh Gammon who is leading in 4, followed by Joshua Shepherd. And they will qualify for their respective finals. 23.94 for Josh Gammon. Joshua Shepherd is a 17th, 18 swimmer. 24.25 makes him the fastest qualifier for his final. Josh Gammon will be in lane 5 in the 19s and overs final. Also qualified for 19s and overs there, Aidan Cannon and Rio Dowdu. And for the 17s and 18s, Josh Shepherd qualifies. Alessandro D'Onofrio qualifies. Harry Chandler qualifies. From earlier heats, Ronnie Edwards and Benedict McCarthy qualify for the 17s and 18s. From that list there, in the 16s, Archie Tebbett qualifies and Toby Hodgson qualifies. So great swimming there. Benedict McCarthy in the 17s and 18s qualifies for his final by 2/100ths of a second. In the 16 years, the Nebi Sengula just beat Benjamin Beal to the final by 3/100ths. Our next event is women's 100 metres butterfly, 12 heats. This is heat 1. In this heat, we have Imogen Dodds for Northampton, Amber Haycock for Northampton, Lucy Shaw for Crew Flyers, Charlie Hoare for Warrender Baths, Isabella Knight for Winchester City Penguins, Callie-Ann Warrington for Hackney Anaconda, Sienna Oxby for Repton Swimming, and Scarlett Humphrey for Loughborough University.
13 contains 7 paraswimmers.
We have Charlie Hoare and Isabella Knight in second and first there. They are in the 13-14 age group. Third to turn, Kellyanne Warrington, a paraswimmer in S10 classification. So we will monitor qualifiers for the mixed classification finals here. There will be points for those swimmers, of course, but leading is Isabella Knight, and Isabella has a PB of 66.51, so that's a new PB. Charlie Hoare finishing second there in 67.56. And then we're looking at the points that are scored by the para swimmers in this heat. And the highest points total is Scarlett Humphrey in lane 1. She was 7th there, but Scarlett Humphrey with 117.36 scored 917 points. So 917 points for Scarlett Humphrey.
To the timing suite as a cultural representative from Guildford City and Crawley to the timing suite. And on this official result, whilst the vocal of Scarlett Humphrey checked on 17.36.
So the delay here is for the officials to check the goggles of the visually impaired swimmers. They must be fully blacked out. And now we have the result confirmed. Look at the points there. Scarlett Humphrey, 917. And Kellyanne Warrington, 682. The 6 paraswimmers there all qualify for the mixed classification final. Isabella Knight, 65.72. That's a PB. Winning the heat. And second there, Charlie Hoare, 67.56. That's a good time. Well, we go on to heat 2. The swimmers in Heat 2 are Jessica Steed for Dover Lifeguard, Emily Taylor for South Lanarkshire, Grace O'Hara for City of Leeds, Taya Laidlaw for Dumfries, Isla Clark for Rotherham Metro, Myla Rasmussen for the Royal School Wolverhampton, Jessica Long for Bromley, Olivia Daniel for Verulam, Anna Mason for City of Peterborough, and Isla Thied for Camden Swiss Cottage. In this heat, we want to get around 65, 66 seconds for these swimmers. Anna Mason turning first in 30.21. And then it's Isla Clark in the middle of the pool in lane 5. The fastest time so far, 65.72. And it's Isla Clark now leading. And she's a 15 years swimmer in 5. Anna Mason's a 13-14 swimmer who's going to finish first, 65.26. So that's our fastest time so far. And for Anna Mason, that's a PB by 0.95 of a second. Second there, Isla Clark in 65.41. And that's a PB. Emily Taylor, 65.98. A good time. That. Anna Mason will have to wait and see if 65.26 gets in the 13-14 final. It might. We will find out after the next heat. On to heat 3. The swimmers here are Esme Wykes for Millfield, Amelie Heavens for Mid Sussex Marlins, Pip Sweet Roberts for Torfine Dolphins Performance. Tara Beard for Maxwell. Isla Bennett for City of Cardiff. Amy Sanders for Dunstable. Katie Aitchison for Warren de Baths. Lane 2 is empty. Then it's Lily Drugmans for Hazelmere and Viana Safi for City of Salford. Isla Bennett turning second. Lily Drugmans getting to the wall just ahead of her. Lily Drugmans 29.53 is a 15-year swimmer. Our leading 13, 14-year-old is in lane 4, Amy Sanders, in this heat. We should have 3 or 4 swimmers qualified for the 13, 14 final at the end of this heat. Right, Lily Drugman is leading. Lily's PB is 65.70. So Lily Drugman's looking for 65.70 for a PB. 64.43. Amy Sanders, 65.73. And we have to just do some calculations to figure out if Amy Sanders is guaranteed a place in the 13-14 final. With that, it's very close between her and Isabella Knight from a previous heat. But Amy Sanders does qualify. She's guaranteed to qualify with that time. Tara Beard will get in the mixed classification final with 675 points there. Amy Sanders and Tara Beard, the only guaranteed qualifiers with those times. From earlier heats, those times mean that in the 13-14 age group, Anna Mason qualifies from heat 2. Isabella Knight qualifies as well for the 13-14 final. She was in heat 1. And Emily Taylor also qualifies for the 13-14 final. She was in heat 2. This is heat 4. In this heat, we're fighting for places in the 13-14 and the 15-year final. The swimmers are Jessica Rollings for City of Leeds, Evelyn Berry for Chippenham, Minnie Wilkinson for Wickham District, Zara Kraviec for East Lothian, Lydia Shipley for Middlesbrough, Erin Hawkins for City of Birmingham, Grace Robinson for Norwich Swan, Connie Banerjee for Derby Excel, Lexi Sanderford for Putteridge, and Samantha Taylor for York City Baths. Evelyn Berry turning first. She's in the 15 years age group. And to qualify for the 15 years final, I think she would need to go 64.43 to guarantee the place when she touches the wall. And we have Minnie Wilkinson in lane 7, who is trying to get in the 13s, 14s final. Leading then into the wall, Lydia Shipley. And 64.59 was her PB, so that's a new PB, 64.38 for Lydia Shipley. And that should mean that Lydia is guaranteed a place in the 15 years final. As I quickly do my calculations. We had Minnie Wilkinson second there in 65.00. And with that, Minnie Wilkinson will qualify for the 13-14 final for sure. So I believe we have 2 qualifiers from that heat, Lydia Shipley and Minnie Wilkinson. It won't be confirmed until we see the results. Only then do we know it is official. And here we go, official times confirmed. Lydia Shipley qualifies for the 15 years final with 64.38 seconds. Minnie Wilkinson does qualify for the 13-14s final with 65.00. We go on now to heat 5 with 9 swimmers competing. The swimmers in the pool then, Rose O'Brien for Portsmouth North Sea, Holly Coleman for Corby, Ellie McLeod for Woking, Maisie Jones for City of Cardiff, Reese Huckle is not in lane 5. Lane 5 is empty. Then it's Summer Everson for Watford, Amber Hinton for Dumfries, Emily England Hall for City of Leeds, Emma Hill for Teddington, and Ella Faulkner for Ellesmere College. Summer Everson is a 17-18 swimmer turning first. Maisie Jones is a 16 years swimmer. We have a 15-year swimmer turning fourth there, Rose O'Brien. And Emily England Hall is a 13-14 swimmer in lane 2. 3 names in the bottom of your picture. Currently in 9th place, but could qualify for the 13-14 final with this swim. It's Summer Everson, who's got a PB of 64.18. Summer. PB 63.29. Emma Hill 64.43. PB. Maisie Jones 64.67. A good time for Maisie. And then we're looking for Emily England Hall, 67.5. Emily England Hall will not qualify for the 13-14 final with that, but it means that Taya Laidlaw from an earlier heat does qualify. Emma Hill qualifies for the 15 final. Rose O'Brien qualifies for the 15 final. From earlier heats, Lily Drugmans and Ida Clark are now qualified for the 15-year final. Everyone else there has to wait and see whether they qualify for finals. On to heat 6. The swimmers here are Kalila Smith for Aberdeen, Delilah Martin for Hazelmere, Madison Cool for University of Aberdeen Performance, Iris Hurst for Warrington Warriors, Alice Forrest for Derwentside and Gateshead, Favour Umo for City of Bristol, Sophia Simonis for Leatherhead, Heidi Corbett for Guildford City, Edie Foster for Bishop Stortford, and Eva Crow for City of Bristol. We should get 3 swimmers qualifying for finals after this heat. First to turn, Delilah Martin in the 17s and 18s, and Delilah actually is looking so good she could force herself into the 17s, 18s final. Lane 4 is Favour Umo in the 16 years age group. Sophia Simonis in 3 is fighting for a place in the 13-14 final. And we have 2 swimmers in the 15 years age group, Edie Foster and Heidi Corbett. Heidi Corbett, 63.96. So she'll be in the 15-year final. Edie Foster was 10th, 66.86. And will miss out on the 15 years final with that time. It means that Isla Bennett from an earlier heat is now in the 15 years final. Favour Uma has to wait and see if she qualifies for the 16s. Sophia Simonis in 4th there qualifies for the 13-14 final. And she's the fastest swimmer in that age group so far in 64.89. Everyone else has to wait and see. They're relying on times from the remaining heats. This is heat 7. In Heat 7, we have Joanne Andrews for Ellesmere College, Darcy Jackson for Tadcaster York Sports, Arabella Newport Derbyshire for Abingdon Vale, Eloise Cole for Repton, Eleanor Porter for Camden Swiss Cottage, Rin Mayo for Camden Swiss Cottage, Ksenia Mann for Mingis Hill and Whitehall, Charlotte Hunter for Northumberland and Durham Performance, and Rachel Ho for City of Birmingham. Lane 0 is empty. First to turn is Arabella Newport Derbyshire, 29.63 seconds. Rin Mayer is the only swimmer in here in lane 4 from the 13s and 14s, and she will qualify if she goes faster than 65.73 for her final. We have 2 15-year swimmers here Eleanor Porter and Charlotte Hunter, they both need to go faster than 65.41 to qualify. And it's Arabella Newport Derbyshire in 64.08. Looking at the other times then, Ksenia Mann in the 16 years. We'll have to wait and see with her time. She's the fastest swimmer so far in the 16 years age group. For the 15 years swimmers there, Eleanor Porter qualifies for the 15 years final. Charlotte Hunter qualifies for the 15 years final. Evelyn Berry from an earlier heat now knows she'll be in the final. Rin Mayo there in 7th qualifies for the 13-14 final in 66.14 seconds. 5 heats left. This is heat 8. And 9 swimmers here are Abby Byton for City of Sheffield, Ornia Makichi for Hackney Anaconda, Jasmine Carter for Mount Kelly, Evelyn Toy for Bristol and South Gloucestershire, then the empty lane. Then it's Holly Hopwood for Guildford City, Eleanor Deakin for Teddington, Henrietta Chick for Winsford, Phoebe Wetherill for City of Wakefield, and Alice Cumming for City of Glasgow. First to turn then Ornia Makichi, 29.19. Then Eleanor Deakin. Then it's Jasmine Carter, Holly Hopwood, Phoebe Wetherill, who's a 16 years swimmer, trying to get into the 16 years final in lane 1. We won't have any guaranteed finalists as a result of this heat. There are too many swimmers to come in these age groups. So we're looking at the clock then for Ornia Makichi, who's got a personal best of 63.86, and it's 63.25. PB for Ornia Makichi. Holly Hopwood 63.79. That's a good time. Our fastest 16-year-old there was Phoebe Wetherill in 64.73. That's the 4th fastest time for a 16-year-old so far, and we still have 10 16-year-olds to swim. So I don't think that will qualify for the 16 years final. Ornia Makichi, though, is the fastest 17-18 swimmer so far. 4 heats left. This is heat 9. And in this heat, it's Lily Mundell for Heart of Midlothian, Darcy Smith for Portsmouth North Sea, Jasmine Bax for Mount Kelly, Gracie Owen for Torfine Dolphins, Lily Stansfield for Harrogate District, Layla Weatherspoon for Heart of Midlothian, Jasmine Hall for Basildon and Phoenix, Evie Young for Mount Kelly, Amelia Wright for Harrogate District, and Ilana Nightingale Ellis for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson. First to turn, Layla Weatherspoon. Lily Stansfield turning second there is in the 16 years age group, and looks like she's on her way to qualify for the 16 years final at the moment with this swim. It's Lily Stansfield leading, and then Jasmine Hall, and they're both 16-year-old swimmers. They're both going to qualify for the 16 years final with this, I'm sure of that. So into the wall, Lily Stansfield and Jasmine Hall. 62.42 for Lily, that's a PB. Jasmine Hall 62.52, that's a PB. First time under 63 seconds for both of those swimmers. They both qualify for the 16 years final, providing there are no disqualifications. Lily Mundell, let's have a look, 64.42 qualifies as well for the final. From earlier heats, Ksenia Mann now knows she'll be in the 16 years final. Favour Umo from an earlier heat qualifies for the 16 years final. In the 13s and 14s, Jasmine Bax won't qualify with that time for the 13-14 final. So Jessica Steed from an earlier heat now knows she will be in the 13-14 final. We're on to circle seeded heats now. Heat 10, very fast swimmers in the middle of the pool for the final 3 heats. In Heat 10, it's Holly Jocelyn for Repton Swimming, Shola Robinson for Loughborough University, Madeline Hine for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Catherine Roberts for Swansea University, Eve Whitney for Tilehurst, Phoebe Cooper for City of Sheffield, Lily Grover for the Royal Score Wolverhampton, Olivia Greenall for City of Norwich, Lucia Lesty for Repton, and Olivia Newman-Baronius for Maxwell. Olivia in lane 0 is a paraswimmer S14 classification. So she is swimming for points and a place in the S14 final. And in the middle of the pool, it's Phoebe Cooper and then Lily Grover. On the far side, Holly Jocelyn is a 13-14 swimmer. Our leader, Phoebe Cooper, is in the 17s and 18s. Fastest time in that age group is 63.25 so far. And Phoebe will get into the 17-18 final with that time, 61.47. Catherine Roberts, who I would expect will qualify for the 19s and overs there. Olivia Newman-Baronius was 10th there, 851 points. That's a really good points total for Olivia Newman-Baronius in 10th. Looking at the age groups then, Phoebe Cooper qualifies for 17s, 18s, also qualifying for 17s, 18s. Olivia Greenall, Eve Whitney, Lucia Leslie has to wait and see though. In the 13s and 14s, Holly Jocelyn 9th there, but she's the fastest swimmer in the 13s and 14s final. She'll be in lane 4 in that final, and that completes the lineup for the 13s and 14s. And there you go, 851 points for Olivia Newman-Baronius. Catherine Roberts qualifies for the 19s and overs there. Shola Robinson qualifies for the 19s and overs. Lily Grover, 62.84. We'll have to wait and see, but I should think that will qualify. And we go on to Heat 11, 2 heats left. The swimmers here are Alyssa Lowe for City of Leicester, Lois Child for Harrogate District, Ella Thornburg for University of Bath, Millie Harris for West Norfolk, Shannon Stotts for City of Sheffield, Sky Carter for Mount Kelly, Seren Talentire for Morpeth, Kiana Kurtzer for Warren de Baths, Josephine Klein for University of Stirling, and Gisela Silano for Guildford City. Not much to choose between our first 6 swimmers at that turn, separated by just 0.43 of a second. Josephine Klein did turn first. We have 2 16-year swimmers in this heat. In lane 0, Gisela Solano, and in 8, Lois Child. We should get qualifiers for 17s and 18s final here, and 19s and overs. Our leader into the wall is Shannon Stott, and Shannon's going to qualify for the 19s and overs with this time 60.80 for Shannon, and that qualifies for 19s and overs. Sky Carter 61.56 qualifies for 19s and overs. Josephine Klein qualifies. Ella Thornburg qualifies. Then in the 17s and 18s there, Seren Talentire qualifies, Kiana Kurtzer qualifies, Millie Harris qualifies. From an earlier heat, Ornia Makichi is now qualified for the 17-18 final. Alyssa Lowe won't make it into that final. Lois Child there qualifies for the 16 years final. And from an earlier heat, Darcy Smith now knows she will qualify for the 16 years final. Here comes the final heat. And in this heat, we have Isabel Brand for rugby, Isla Jones for City of Sheffield, Amelia Fenner for Basildon and Phoenix, Sophie Murray for the University of Birmingham, Lydia Caudle for Repton, Betsy Wizard for Northampton, Edith Price for Mount Kelly, Kieran Morris for Swansea University, Grace Yardley for Brompton, and Jessica Huggins for Swim Bournemouth. Betsy Wizard turning first then in 28.01. Betsy's in the 19s and overs. The fastest time in the 19s and overs so far is 60.80. We're going to get close to 60 seconds here for Betsy. We have 3 places left in the 16s final to be decided. 3 places left to be decided in the 17s and 18s final. Betsy Wizard gets into the 19s and overs final with 59.98. She'll be the fastest qualifier and swim in lane 4 in that final. Edith Price second there, 61.84. She qualifies third fastest for the 17s and 18s final. Jessica Huggins, 62.23, will be the 5th fastest qualifier. In terms of the 17s and 18s there, Isabel Brand misses out, so Summer Everson qualifies from an earlier heat for the 17s and 18s final. In the 16s there, we get 3 qualifiers. Lydia Caudle, Grace Yardley, Amelia Fenner, they're all into the final. And in the 19s and overs, Betsy Wizard qualifies there. As I said, Kieran Morris qualifies. Sophie Murray qualifies. Isla Jones misses out by 0.16 of a second. Lily Grover from an earlier heat qualifies for the 19s and overs final. So you're up to date there with all of the qualifiers. And we now have a swim-off for men's 200 metres freestyle. Our swimmers in the pool for 200 freestyle both swam 1:59.25. The starters just asking these swimmers to wait. The swimmers you can see there in red in lane 4. That is Stuart Thompson for Perth City. And it's Rowan Bissett for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson. They both swam 1:59.25 in the heats. So they are swimming off. These two were tied for 11th, Stuart Thompson and Rowan Bissett. So the swim-off is to determine which one of them will be the first reserve for the final. So neither of these swimmers will qualify for the final as a result of this swim, but the first reserve will be decided. Stuart Thompson, 27.91 at the turn. Both 16 years swimmers. So 1:59.25 is the time they would both like to beat here.
If somebody were to pull out of the final, we need to know who can then fill that place.
And they're still very close together. Look at that. 6/100th of a second separating them at the halfway turn. Stuart Thompson now opening a very, very small advantage. So it's Thompson and then Bissett. And they're still within 0.11 of each other. So 1:59.25. We'd like them both to beat that time. That's got to be our target here. Both swimmers, let's get better than 1:15.25. 1:59.25. They are going to swim so close together here into the wall, and it looks like it's going to be Rowan Bissett just 1:59.06. So Rowan does swim quicker than he did in the heats. And he will be the first reserve for the final. Stuart Thompson, the second reserve for the final. If anyone pulls out of that final, Rowan Bissett will be the first person in to replace. And if two swimmers pull out, they will both swim in the final. So that was another great race. Well done to both swimmers there. And our next event in the pool is men's 200 metres individual medley. In Heat 1, we have 6 swimmers racing. In this heat, we have Theo Reynolds for Bournemouth Collegiate School, Kai Bradford for Killer Whales, Owen Johnson for Repton Swimming, Ryan Potter for Preston Swimming, Corey Hare for Devon, Lewis Jones for the University of Birmingham. All of our swimmers in this heat are para swimmers. First to turn will be Ryan Potter, who's an S14 swimmer. Corey Hare, also S14, turning second. Kai Bradford is S9. So too Lewis Jones. They are in 6 and 2. And we have S6 swimmer Theo Reynolds in lane 7, who's the one swimmer at the moment who is not in shot. Remember, it's all about the points. It's the points that determine the rankings. So it's the points that are calculated for each classification. We turn from backstroke to breaststroke. Ryan Potter, 68.55 at the turn. Kai Bradford, who's had a very good turn there, 68.93. And you see Theo Reynolds, S6 swimmer, still on backstroke. But when we see the points at the end, it's possible that Theo could win the race, because it is all about points. We are watching then our leading two, Ryan Potter and Kai Bradford. Ryan in the red cap in 4, Kai in the white cap in 6. And we go from breaststroke to freestyle then. 0.16 of a second between our leading two swimmers at the turn. And you'll see Theo Reynolds in the blue cap going from left to right, breathing every other stroke, which is allowed as long as his head doesn't completely submerge on any stroke. His head has to come up through the water at some point in every stroke, whether he breathes or not. Right, Kai Bradford is coming into the wall here. And he's got a PB of 2:27.73, so that's a PB for Kai, 2:26.63. Ryan Potter, 2:27.62. That's worth 612 points. Owen Johnson touched the wall third, but he actually has the second highest points total so far of our 5 finishers. Theo Reynolds now coming into the picture. And Theo has a PB of 3:10.20. We're at 3:03 now, 3:04, 3:05. We're trying to get under 3:10 for a PB. So Theo Reynolds, yes, PB, 3:08.55. And Theo's total of 574 points is the 5th highest total of those swimmers. You'll see the points now, and we rearrange the swimmers by their points totals. Well, they're actually listed there by time, so let's rank them by points as well. It's Kai Bradford with the highest number of points, then Owen Johnson. Ryan Potter beating Lewis Jones by 2 points only. And Theo Reynolds with 574 ahead of Corey Hare. Those swimmers will all swim again later in the final session with those times. On to Heat 2. And we have 9 swimmers competing in this heat. In 9, it's Hayden Hudson for Chesterfield. And then Edward Rose for Rotherham Metro. Rory Yarney for Northgate Bridgenorth. Thomas Stanimirov for Plymouth College Aquatics. Stephen Yankoff for Repton. Mason Trainer for City of Leicester. Then there's the empty lane. And in lane 2, Rafe Lawson. Then it's Amrit Lally and Jude Gunner. Our swimmers in the outside lanes here are in para classification S14. So that is Hayden Hudson on the far side of the pool and Jude Gunner, who's leading the race. They will be swimming for points. All of the other swimmers in this heat are 13-14 age group swimmers. There's a chance for swimmers in the 13s and 14s to qualify for their final in this heat. Edward Rose now leading ahead of Jude Gunner. Edward Rose in lane 8, but now Jude Gunner on breaststroke is going ahead. So it's Gunner and then Rose. And in the middle of the pool, Mason Trainer, Stephen Yankoff, Thomas Stanimirov are coming back. Hayden Hudson's doing well on the breaststroke here on the far side in lane 9. And in lanes 2 and 1, Rafe Lawson and Amrit Lally looking good. Into freestyle then, the final length of the pool. And it's Jude Gunner in S14 classification on his way to qualify for his final. Mason Trainer in 4. Amrit Lally in 3. And in lane 8, Edward Rose. Jude Gunner's got a PB of 218.74, so just outside that time. Amrit Lally, new PB, 221.66. And that has got a chance of qualifying for the 13-14 final from Amrit Lally. He'll have to wait and see because we do have 10 more 13-14 swimmers to come, but I think Amrit Lally will probably qualify for the final with that, and Mason Trainer might qualify as well, 223.07. Jude Gunner and Hayden Hudson definitely into their final there with 716 and 639 points respectively. Amrit Lally, a very likely qualifier for his final. Mason Trainer will have to wait and see. We go on to Heat 3. And we have 9 swimmers in this heat. It's Harry Connor in lane 8 for Stratford Sharks, Maxwell Burdetts for City of Leicester, Oscar Fox for Kingston upon Hull, Leo Lee for City of Leeds, Heath Murphy for Nuneaton and Bedworth, Henry Liddell for Aquajets Newcastle, Jason Lee for City of Birmingham, Evan Lau for City of Birmingham, and Harry Stutchfield for Warrender Baths. Jason Lee first to turn in lane 2. 2 swimmers with the same surname in this heat, as you will have seen on the splits there. So it's Jason Lee in 2 leading. We have one 15-year swimmer, Heath Murphy, in lane 5. And everybody else in the 13s and 14s age group. Henry Little and Leo Lee now right up there. And lane 5, Leo Lee turning 3rd. Jason Lee in 2 was first to turn. Onto breaststroke. And Jason Lee looking strong, but even stronger Henry Little in 3. And stronger still maybe in 6, it's Oscar Vogt. Harry Connor in lane 8 is the strongest breaststroker in the pool here. Harry won the 200 breaststroke gold medal for this age group this week. Harry turning 6th then. And it's now Oscar Vogt who's leading from Henry Little and Jason Lee. And in 4th, it's Leo Lee. Okay, our leading 4 swimmers here look like they will qualify for the 13-14 final. Something under 225 should qualify here for these swimmers. So Oscar Vogt qualifies, Leo Lee qualifies, Henry Little qualifies, Jason Lee qualifies. Heath Murphy is in the 15 years age group. 6th year, Harry Connor. I think he should qualify there with 222.93. Looking here then in the 13s, 14s, Oscar Vogt qualifies, Leo Lee qualifies, Henry Little, Jason Lee, Harry Connor, Maxwell Burdett. Harry Statchfield will qualify. Evan Lau will miss out with that time. From earlier heats, Amrit Lally and Mason Trainer get into the 13-14 final with their time. So that was from the previous heat. Amrit Lally qualifies, Mason Trainer qualifies. Maxwell Burdett in 7th there. Has to wait and see. He needs a 13-14 swimmer to swim slower than that in an upcoming heat. And there are 2 13-14 swimmers in this heat. It's heat 4. The swimmers here, 9 of them. Jason van der Merwe for Newham University of East London. Satoshi Bagger for Abingdon Vale. Moses Lamb for Repton. Isaac Mendham for Dunmow Atlantis. Romeo Ball for Maidstone. James Graham for City of Liverpool. Hero Dwan for Chelsea and Westminster. Then you have the empty lane. And closest to us, Jackson Crabb for City of Leicester and Noah Willer for Borough of Waltham Forest Gators. So we have 2 13-14 swimmers. Well, only one actually, Romeo Ball, because lane 2 would have been a 13-14 swimmer. So that means Maxwell Burdett from the previous heat is qualified for the 13-14 final. Maxwell Burdett qualifies for the 13-14 final from the last heat. Romeo Ball in lane 5 is currently 8th, I would say. And for Romeo to qualify, he will need to swim faster than 2:23.88 in this heat. Romeo's the only swimmer in this heat who can guarantee qualification with this swim. Everyone else would have to wait and see with their times. Lane 6 leading the way is Isaac Mendham. And Isaac is a backstroke specialist, so no surprise that he's leading. But coming back at him, Jason van der Merwe in lane 9. Jason is a para swimmer, S14 class. And now in lane 5, Romeo Ball really surging through. And Romeo Ball, who I think was 8th at one point in backstroke, is now leading. Romeo Ball will qualify for his final if he goes faster than 2:23.88. And he's going to do that no problem at all. Jason van der Merwe could win this heat. Jason's got a PB of 2:17.51. Jason's got to qualify for the mixed classification final here. He's just outside his PB of 2:17.5. He wins the heat in 2:18.55. Noah Willett finishing second there. And 2:19.25 for Noah is a PB, and it's the fastest swim so far by a 15-year-old. And that will probably qualify. He'll have to wait for the next heat to find out. Romeo Ball certainly qualifies for the 13-14 final. Jason van der Merwe will qualify for mixed classification with 741 points. Noah Willett, I would expect to qualify with that time for his age group. But he'll have to wait and see for absolute confirmation. James Graham will also have to wait and see 2:19.33. I think both of those swimmers, second and third there, have a strong chance of qualifying. Romeo Ball, let me remind you, finishing fourth does qualify for the 13-14 final. On to heat 5. No lane 6 here, and that means that from the previous heat, Noah Willett does qualify for the 15 years final. Our swimmers in the pool are Mihailo Vukovic for Ealing, Mason Amiri for Whitney and District, Julian Okroyd for Delting Dolphins, then the empty lane. Then it's George Pearce for City of Liverpool, Patrick O'Hara for City of Leeds, Brogan Smith for Glen Rothes, Peter Fenson for Croydon Amphibians, Quinn Austin Kelly for Skipton, and Joshua Hutchinson for Woking. Quinn Austin Kelly turning first, and Quinn Austin is swimming in para classification S14 for a place in the mixed classification final. And now Peter Fenson in lane 2 taking the lead. Peter is in the 15 years final. In the 15 years age group, I should say, swimming for a place in the final. Also a 15-year swimmer, Julian Okroyd, 3 lanes from the top of the picture. So Fenson first and Okroyd third there in the same age group. Quinn Austin Kelly turning in 63.75. On to breaststroke then. Mihailo Vukovic at the top of the screen in lane 9 is swimming for a place in the 13-14 final. Mihailo will qualify if he swims quicker than 2:23.88. So Mihailo Vukovic's target, 2:23.88 for a place in the 13-14 final. For the 15 years swimmers in this heat, George Pearce, Brogan Smith and Peter Fenson. The target time to qualify would be 2:19.33. And Quinn Austin Kelly, right up there with the leaders in lane 1, is on his way to the final of the mixed classification. But coming through here is Brogan Smith, I think, to win this heat. Brogan Smith 2:15.44, which gets into the 15 years final. Peter Fenson 2:15.46 will qualify for the 15 years final. We're waiting on potential disqualifications. That's the only reason anybody that I'm mentioning might not qualify for a final here. Julian Okroyd 2:16.13. He'll get into the 15 years final as long as there are no disqualifications here. And here comes the official result. There is a disqualification for Quinn Austin Kelly. So Quinn Austin won't be swimming in the mixed classification final later. We do have qualifiers there, though, for the 15 years. Brogan Smith, Peter Fenson, Julian Okroyd and George Pearce. Noah Willett may still have to wait for confirmation. Mihailo Vukovic, though, in 5th place, qualifies for the 13-14 final for sure. They're definitely in the top 10. Noah Willer still has to wait from the previous heat. His place still could be lost, it seems, looking at the times. Heat 6 now. In Heat 6, we have Baris Muratoglu for Newham and University of East London, Jack Hurry for Northampton, Nikolai Cisnet for City of Glasgow, Harry Osborne for City of Sheffield, William Irvine for Mount Kelly, Dylan Hill for Kingston upon Hull, Joseph Bale for Mount Kelly, and then the empty lane, and the two swimmers closest to us are Jake Battle for Repton and Martin Vermaat for Camden Swiss Cottage. We should have 3 more places in the 15 years final decided after this heat. So the swimmers who are fighting it out for those positions in this heat: lane 6, Harry Osborne; lane 3, Joseph Bale; and lane 1, Jake Battle. Leading the way in 7 is Nikolai Cisnet. Nikolai turning in 59.28. Nikolai's got a PB of 212.21, and I think if you go out in under 60 seconds, you are pretty much guaranteed to beat 212. I think you might even go under 210. Coming back now in 6 is Harry Osborne, and Harry's one of those 15-year swimmers trying to get into his final. Joseph Bale very strong on the breaststroke in lane 3. Up to 4th now in this heat. Nikolai Cisnet turning in 140. Nikolai is going to have a big PB here. PB of 212.21. I have absolutely no doubt about that. He will be swimming a great time here. In lane 5, William Irvine's in the 17s and 18s. Harry Osborne in the 15s. Nikolai Cisnet then 212.21. And he actually finished outside that time. Well, I think Nikolai's got something left for later there. 212.5. The fastest 16-year-old so far. But there are a lot of 16-year swimmers left. The breaststroke surprisingly slow there from Nikolai Cisnet. In the 15 years there, Harry Osborne qualifies, Joseph Bale qualifies, Jake Battle qualifies. They're all into their final with those times. Everyone else has to wait and see. Nikolai Cisnet is the fastest 16-year-old so far. William Irvine with the fastest 17, 18 times so far. On to Heat 7. In this heat we have Jack Smith, City of Leicester, Ross Edwards for City of Cardiff, Robert Fenner for Basildon and Phoenix, Malachi Woods for Maxwell, Conan Swinney for Derwentside and Gateshead, Thomas Woofenden for City of Leeds, Elliot Mayer for Nofio Gwynedd Performance, Ryan Flood for Leander, Will Wilson for City of Leeds, and Harry Langford for the Royal School, Wolverhampton. And in this heat, we have some 16 years swimmers. They are in lane 9, Jack Smith, in 3, Elliot Mayer, and in 1, Will Wilson. At the end of this heat, we won't have any guaranteed qualifiers for finals. There are too many swimmers left to swim in the remaining heats in all age groups for that. Our leader is Ross Edwards, turning in 60.62. Malachi Woods in lane 6. Turned there in 5th place, but I think he's probably our fastest breaststroker in there. And Malachi now is coming through. He's up to 2nd. So Malachi 2nd, overtaking Robert Fenner. And then it's a question of how close can Malachi get to Ross Edwards here. Will Wilson in lane 1 is probably our strongest freestyle swimmer among these swimmers, but he's a long way behind. So it seems unlikely he is going to close this gap. Into the final 25, and it's Ross Edwards then, with Ryan Flood in 2nd place, or maybe Robert Fenner fighting back. Ross Edwards has got a season best of 2:13.46, 2:11.59 there. Very close to his personal best time, only a 1/10 of a second slower. Robert Fenner in a new PB of 2:12.76. 3rd there was Ryan Flood, 2:12.85, which is a new PB, a first ever swim under 2:13 for Ryan. Thomas Woofenden, 2:13.3 in 4th place. So nobody there qualifies for sure as yet, but Ross Edwards is the fastest 17-18 swimmer so far. We go on to heat 8. In this heat, it's Archie Maguire for City of Sunderland, Noah Gambroudis for City of Birmingham, Leo Talbot for Bolton Metro, Harry Cook for Aberdeen Dolphins, Harrison Galloway for City of Bristol, Benjamin Beale for City of Sunderland, Finley Bennett for South Lanarkshire, Harry Pearce for Mount Kelly, Alfie Owen for Wigan Best, and Roger Davis for Bristol and South Gloucestershire. Harrison Galloway is the first to turn then in 27.11. We have one 15-year swimmer here, Archie Maguire, on the far side of the pool. And Archie will definitely qualify for his final if he can beat 2:19.25. So Archie Maguire's target, 2:19.25. He's right at the top of the screen there. Harry Cook turning in exactly 60 seconds from back to breast. And Harry is in the 16 years age group. You'll remember Nikolai Cisnet, who's the fastest 16-year swimmer so far, turned in under 60. But watching Harry Cook here, I think Harry's breaststroke probably puts him ahead of Nikolai when we get to the final turn. In terms of qualifying for a final, we are concentrating on Archie Maguire in lane 9. He's the only swimmer here who can definitely secure a place in a final, turning in 1:43.36. He needs to beat 2:19.25. And I think that is probably going to happen for Archie Maguire. Our leader is Harry Cook then. And Harry's PB is 2:12.48. He's going to smash that. Harry Cook, new PB, 2:09.38. Alfie Owen, 2:10.28, a big PB as well. Harry Pearce, 2:12.58. Archie Maguire in 2:14.78 qualifies for the 15 years final, as long as there are no disqualifications when we get the result confirmed. And here we go. No, it's a clean race. Archie Maguire, 2:14.78 into the 15 years final. Harry Cook then is the fastest 16-year-old so far, but still has to wait and see. That may well qualify. Benjamin Beale may also qualify for the 16 years final with those times. Alfie Owen has also got a chance of the 17-18 final, I would say, with 2:10.28. And Harry Pearce, a slim chance of the 17-18 final. On to Heat 9. In Heat 9, it's Jack Bamborough for City of Cardiff, Max Higgins for Reeds of Cobham, Toby Bullock for Midlothian, Finley Bruce for Perth City, James Biddick for Exeter City, Cameron Verncombe for Portsmouth North Sea, Tyler Stone for City of Norwich, Oscar Earthroll for City of Brighton and Hove, Gregor Ross for City of Glasgow, and Tom Belts for Mount Kelly. And it's James Biddick who will turn first. We have one 15-year swimmer there turning fifth, Oscar Earthroll. And we have 16 years swimmers in lanes 5 and 3. James Biddick and Tyler Stone. Cameron Verncombe in lane 4 is a para swimmer in S14 classification. Our leader is Finley Bruce, who's in the 17s and 18s age group. Second there, James Biddick, trying to get into the 16s final with this swim. And Oscar Earthroll, keep an eye on Oscar. Oscar is in the 15 years age group. Oscar will qualify for the 15 years final as long as he swims quicker than 2:17.44. So Oscar Earthroll has a target time of 2:17.44. And for James Biddick to get into the 16s final, 2:09.38 will qualify. In fact, I think 2:11.43 is actually the time for James Biddick to qualify. Okay, our leader is Gregor Ross in the 17s and 18s. Fastest time we've seen so far in the 17s and 18s is 2:10.28. And Gregor's PB is 2:11.04. Well, it isn't anymore. 2:09.95. James Biddick, 2:11.57. And that qualifies for the 16th final, I think. We have to do a few calculations on that. Oscar Earthroll in 2:12.09 definitely qualifies for the 15 years final. James Biddick and Tyler Stone will actually have to wait and see if they qualify. Cameron Verncombe is into the mixed classification final with 2:15.65. Everybody else has to wait on later times. Gregor Ross now is the leading 17-18 swimmer. So qualifying for sure there, Oscar Earthroll finishing 4th and Cameron Verncombe finishing 8th, both through to their finals. We have 4 heats left. This is Heat 10. In this heat, we have Alex Cantley for University of Aberdeen, Leroy Shee for Redditch, Theo Bruntlett for Nuneaton and Bedworth, Robert Shipley for Middlesbrough, Benjamin Roberts for Grantham, Lucas Lovell for Portsmouth North Sea, Roman Levchenko for Derby XL, Dexter West for Pembrokeshire County, Benjamin Pedergill for Camden Swiss Cottage, and Rock Vela Obiols for Millfield. First to turn, Roman Levchenko in 26.83. Benjamin Roberts was second there. They're both in the 17s and 18s age group. In this heat, we have 5 16-year-old swimmers in 9, 8, 6, 1 and 0. Alex Cantley, Leroy Shee, Robert Shipley, Benjamin Pedergill and Rock Vela Obiols as we turn from back to breast. It's Roman Levchenko leading now. And then Dexter West. Rockvela Obiols leading the 16-year-olds at this stage in lane 0. On the breaststroke then, Lucas Lovell in 4. Very, very, very strong breaststroke swimmer. He got the silver in the 200 breast this week. Leroy Sheep, 2 lanes from the top of the picture. He got the silver in the 100 breast. So no surprise then that Lovell turned first. Our leading 16-year-old at that turn was Leroy Sheep in lane 8. So Leroy Sheep pushing for a place in the 16 years final. We'll be able to confirm 5 qualifiers, I think, for the 16 years final after this heat. And Roman Levchenko finishing very strongly to win the heat in 209.73, which is a joint PB. He's swum exactly the same time already this year. Lucas Lovell in 210.03. That's a personal best time. Benjamin Roberts 210.2 PB as well for all of our first 3 swimmers. In terms of the 16-year-olds, it's Robert Shipley who's fastest, 210.42, and he qualifies for the final for 16-year-olds. Leroy Sheep qualifies for the 16-year final with that time. Benjamin Pedergill, Rockvela Obiols will have to wait and see if they qualify. Roman Levchenko winning the heat. He's our fastest 17-18 swimmer so far, but we still have more than 10 swimmers to come in that age group, so Roman's time may not qualify for the final. The guaranteed qualifiers there, Robert Shipley and Leroy Sheep, both in the 16 years age group. Next is heat 11. And we are circle seeded now, so very fast swimmers in the middle of the pool. In this heat, it's Caden Hitchens for City of Birmingham, Hugh Mason Williams for City of Birmingham, Frank Lamb for Millfield, Harrison Homans for Loughborough University, Edward Markle Whittles for Chelsea and Westminster, Jacob Arman for Swansea University, Benjamin Twynham for University of Surrey, Lucas Staines for Swansea University, Oliver Murray for Millfield, and Harry Robinson for Reeds of Cobham. Harrison Homans turning first, 26.14. And second at the turn there was Luca Staines. We've got several medalists from 400 metres individual medley in here. Benjamin Twynham in lane 3 got the bronze in the 19s and overs in 400 IM. Hugh Mason Williams was a bronze medal winner this week in 400 IM. Leading now is Harrison Homans. Second, Edward Marshall Whittles. And Edward is coming through very strongly now. We would expect the 4 swimmers in the middle of the pool to qualify for the 19s and overs final. That would be the expectation. So that's lanes 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then in lane 7, Frank Lamb trying to get into the 17s, 18s final. And also fighting for that 17s and 18s final, Oliver Murray in 1, Harry Robinson in 0, Caden Hitchens in 9. Leading the way in 5, Edward Marshall Whittles. And he is on his way to the 19s and overs final with this time. Edwards qualifies in 2:05.16. Harrison Homans will qualify for the 19s and overs finals with 2:06.38. Frank Lamb 2:06.94. That gets into the 17s and 18s final. Well, I'm seeing on my result sheet that Frank Lamb actually has to wait and see. Edward Marcel Whittles and Harrison Homans do qualify for their final. Jacob Armand qualifies for the 19s and overs. Benjamin Twynham has to wait and see. And from an earlier heat, Nikolai Sisnek qualifies for the 16 years final with his time of 2:12.52. 2 heats left. This is heat 12. In this heat, we have Nicholas Land for Morpeth, Jack Bignell for Northampton, Finlay Richardson for Guildford City, Finlay Davis for University of Stirling, Cameron Rapson for University of Stirling, Toby Godsall for Bath Performance Centre, Aidan Orpin for Sutton and Cheam, Ben Harrison for City of Sheffield, Hayden Sanders for Bromley, Stan Sawyer for York City Baths. Toby Godsall turning first. 26.74, Finlay Davis second in 26.75, only 100th of a second between them, and Ben Harrison was only 0.05 behind the leader at that turn. Hayden Sanders, 2 lanes from the bottom of the screen, is in the 15 years age group, and in order to qualify for his final he needs to beat 2:19.25. So Hayden Sanders turning now in 60.72. I would expect him to beat 2:19.25, reaching the wall in 60.72. So I think Hayden Sanders will make the 15 years final with this swim. Stan Sawyer 1 lane closer to us is fighting for a place in the 16 years final. And Stan needs to beat 2:12.88. Or rather 2:12.57 to qualify. So under 2:12 for Stan Sawyer will qualify. We should get some qualifiers in the 17s and 18s and the 19s and overs in this heat. Toby Godsall is leading the way. He's in the 19s and overs. The fastest 19 and over time so far was Edward Marcel Whittles in 2:05.16. So we're going quicker than that here. Toby Godsall 2:04.03. Cameron Rapson 2:05.82. They both qualify. Aidan Orpin 2:06.56. And I believe Aidan Orpin qualifies for the 17-18 final with that. Nothing's confirmed until we see the results on screen, because there may be disqualification. So I'll run down the confirmed finalists of those swimmers for you now. Toby Godsall qualifies. Cameron Rapson qualifies. Ben Harrison qualifies. Finlay Davis qualifies. All the 19s and over swimmers qualify there. Aidan Orpin qualifies for the 17s and 18s, but Finlay Richardson will have to wait and see. From earlier heats, Frank Lamb, Oliver Murray and Hugh Mason-Williams are in the 17-18 final. In the 16 years, Benjamin Pedergill qualifies, and Hayden Sanders there qualified for the 15 years final. This is the final heat. And we have 9 swimmers competing. It's Samuel Hall for Guildford City, Marcus Haig for Wickham District, Simon Robson for York City Baths, and Llewellyn Porter for Camden Swiss Cottage. Then the empty lane is lane 5. It's Dan Ransom for City of Leeds, Luke Ibsen for Loughborough University, Charles Kershaw for Swansea University, Henry Shepherd for Bromley, and Harry Cox for Thanet. In the middle of the pool, we have Dan Ransom in 4, Llewellyn Porter in 6 in the 17s and 18s. Henry Shepherd in lane 1, 1 lane from the bottom of the screen, is in the 16s age group. Now we've got more 17s and 18s in the outside lane. Samuel Hall in 9, Marcus Haig in 8, Harry Cox in 0. 3 19s and overs in 7, 3 and 2, Simon Robson, Luke Ibsen, and Charles Kershaw. Leading the way then is Dan Ransom. And the fastest time we've seen so far in the 17s and 18s is 2:06.56. Luke Ibsen looks like he'll be qualifying for the 19s and overs final with this swim. He's in second at the moment. At the bottom of the screen, Harry Cox is in the 17s and 18s, and then one lane up in lane one, Henry Shepherd. And to qualify for the final for 16 years for Henry, he needs to beat 2:12.88. Into the last 25 then, and Dan Ransom, he'll qualify for the 17-18 final as long as he swims under 2:10, I would think. So he comfortably qualifies, 2:03.99. Luke Ibsen is into the 19s and overs final with 2:04.90. Llewellyn Porter, 2:06.59. That will get into the 17-18 final. We'll have all the finalists confirmed now by this result then. So qualifying in the 17s and 18s, Daniel Ransom, Llewellyn Porter, Samuel Hall. From earlier heats, it's Finley Richardson, Roman Levchenko and Gregor Ross who make it into the 17-18 final. Second there, Luke Ibsen qualifies for the 19s and overs. Charles Kershaw qualifies as well. Simon Robson misses out from an earlier heat. Ben Twynham qualifies. Henry Shepherd is into the 16 years final there with 2:10.49. So that completes our finalists for men's 200 metres individual medley. And we have one event left in this session. And the final event of the session is women's 50 metres freestyle. In Heat 1, we have 3 swimmers competing. The swimmers here are Eliza Humphrey for Swansea University, Amelia Coburn for Blackpool Aquatics, and Rose Webb for Northampton. These swimmers are in 3 separate para-swimming classifications. Eliza Humphrey, S11, Amelia Coburn, S7, and Rose Webb, S6. So we're looking for points to be scored here. Eliza Humphrey has a PB of 33.89, just outside that, 34.28, that's a good swim. Amelia Coburn, 35.06, and Rose Webb with a new PB in 37.69. The highest point scorer there was Amelia Coburn, 734 points. The result will only be confirmed, as we always say, once the goggles have been checked for the visually impaired swimmers. But as long as there are no disqualifications, then we will guarantee that the first 2 swimmers here will qualify for the final. So the first 2 swimmers here will be guaranteed a place in the final. And the third swimmer will have to wait and see. And here come the confirmed results. No disqualifications. So Amelia Coburn is into the final. Rose Webb is into the final. Eliza Humphrey has to wait and see. We go on to Heat 2. In Heat 2, we have Olivia Patterson for University of Aberdeen, Rebecca Hardy-Bishop for Crawley, Imogen Dodds for Northampton, Amber Haycock for Northampton, Dalton Guiveau for City of Sheffield, Scarlett Humphrey for Loughborough University, Tia Johnson for Newcastle Swim Team, and Victoria Orlandi for Chelsea and Westminster. Dalton Guiveau is a 15 years age group swimmer, and she has a PB of 34.65 before today. So 27.94 is a new PB for Dalton Guiveau. And then we're looking for points totals for the para swimmers in this heat. Scarlett Humphrey scored 824. Victoria Orlandi, I think, with 558 points. So Victoria Orlandi scored the lowest total of points there, which puts her in danger of missing out on the final. And we're waiting for confirmation then. Once the goggles of our visually impaired swimmers are checked, we will have the result confirmed. And here we go then. Dalton Guiveau, 27.94, leading the way for 15-year-old swimmers so far. And look at the totals there. Victoria Orlandi, 558, has to wait and see. All of the other swimmers there with points totals that get them into the final. And it means from the first heat, Rose Webb, Amelia Coburn and Eliza Humphrey are all qualified. On to heat 3. Nine swimmers in this heat. Isla Bennett, Viana Sefi. Lane 7 is empty. Then it's Keris Griffiths, Autumn Claxton, Emily Hall, Freya Cox, Malika Azana Ball, Amy Meyer in lane 1, and lane 0 is empty. And in lane 5, it looks like Autumn Claxton, and in 3, Freya Cox. It's Claxton, then Cox, and in 8, Viana Sefi finishing strongly. It's Claxton, Cox, and then Sefi. 27.32 seconds. The winning time there. So Autumn Claxton sets the fastest time so far for a 15-year swimmer. And that could be good enough to get into the final. Emily Hall with the fastest time so far for a 16-year swimmer. And there's an outside chance Emily Hall could qualify for her final as well. We'll find out more after heat 4. And in this heat, it's Lexi Mulcahy, Alana Henry, Sian Headley, Betty Grice, Willow Harrison, Amelia Spence, Callie-Ann Warrington, Maya Dodd, Ada Yao and Olivia McCall. And streaking away is Willow Harrison in 5. Betty Grice in 2nd place. And then Ada Yao and Maya Dodd fighting very hard on the near side. Also going well in 8, Alana Henry, who gets 3rd. So it's Willow Harris, Betty Grice, and Alana Henry, 1, 2, 3. 4th was Sian Headley. So we have some 15-year swimmers in that heat. Betty Grice was 2nd, Alana Henry was 3rd. Let's have a look at potential qualifying times for finals. I think Autumn Claxton must be qualified from the previous heat now. She is. From previous heats, Autumn Claxton, Freya Cox and Viana Sefi qualified. Betty Grice not quite guaranteed to qualify with that time. Callie Ann Warrington qualifies for the mixed classification final there. Victoria Orlandi will miss out on the mixed classification final as a result. On we go to Heat 5. The swimmers here, Layla Waring, Esme Wykes, Emma Sherrod, Hannah Day, Alice Forrest, Liberty Jones, Amy Langer, Bella Jones, Erin Barber and Lucy Douglas. Amy Langer's got off to a great start in 3. Alice Forrest and Hannah Day in 5 and 6 are coming back, but it looks like it's Amy Langer's race. So it's Amy Langer leading, and then Alice Forrest and Liberty Jones finishing strongly. Alice Forrest silver, or second rather, Liberty Jones third. Amy Langer, a 15 years swimmer, 26.99. She'll qualify for the 15s final with that. Layla Waring has to wait and see. From earlier heats, Betty Grice and Isla Bennett now qualify for the 15 years final. Liberty Jones there has to wait and see for the 16 years final. So Amy Langer, the only swimmer who guaranteed a place in the final for themselves there. Next is Heat 6. In Heat 6, it's Maisie Jones, Rose O'Brien, Jessica Kirkwood, Maisie Bruff, Charlotte Gower, Molly Irvin Watson, Tegan Gale, Summer Everson, Ava Wilson and Katerina Di Maria. It's Tegan Gale out in front. Maisie Bruff and Jessica Kirkwood swimming strongly. Katerina Di Maria in 0 also going well. It's going to be Tegan Gale first to the wall. She is in the 17s and 18s, 26.83. Then Katerina Di Maria. And Summer Everson got up to finish in thirds. Rose O'Brien's a 15-year swimmer there, 27.45. And we have 2 qualifiers there for the 15 years age group. Rose O'Brien and Maisie Bruff both qualify with their times, 27.45 and 27.55. Maisie Jones in the 16s has to wait and see. The next heat is Heat 7. Nine swimmers competing. Jasmine Hall, Eloise Cole. And it's Ainsworth Fletcher, Eve Wood, Daisy Sean Palmer, Evan Higginbottom, Poppy Worthington, Alice Young and Edie Foster. And out in front is Eve Wood. So Eve Wood actually finishes 4th there. First to the wall, Daisy Sean Palmer. And then it was Poppy Worthington, Alice Young, Eve Woods and Emily Ainsworth Fletcher. Daisy Sean Palmer gets into the 16 years final with that time 26.89 seconds. And from an earlier heat, Layla Waring now qualifies for the 15 years final as a result of beating the 15 years time there. On to Heat 8. The swimmers are Rachel Hallgate, Zoe Rogers, Olivia O'Mahony, Amy Hempenstall, Isabella Keane, Naomi Conde, Isabel Price, Abigail McInerney, Layla Weatherspoon and Elizabeth Land. And in lane 3, Isabel Price is going well. In 2, it's Abigail McInerney. And in 4, Naomi Conde. It's going to be between Conde and McInerney. Conde gets there 26.66. And that qualifies Naomi Conde for the 16 years final. Naomi Conde qualifies. Zoe Rogers in joint 7th there qualifies for the 16 years final. Everybody else has to wait and see, relying on later times. We have 3 heats left. We're into the circle seeded heats now. 9 swimmers in heat 9. The swimmers are Michaela Makwa-Barara, Erin Perman, Lily Mundell, Ellen Winstanley, Kerry Sullivan, Hannah Capron, Phoebe Cooper. Then the empty lane, and then it's Daniela Bresner and Poppy McCready. And it's Hannah Capron ahead of Kerry Sullivan into the wall. Hannah Capron's PB 25.53, and she beats it. A 0.2 of a second PB for Hannah Capron. Kerry Sullivan also with a PB 25.80. And Ellen Winstanley 26.51. That's a good time. Hannah Capron qualifies for the 17s, 18s final, also qualifying there for 17s, 18s. Ellen Winstanley, Phoebe Cooper and Michaela Makwa-Barara. Daniela Bresner has to wait for later times. In the 16s there, Kerry Sullivan qualifies, Erin Perman qualifies, Lily Mundell qualifies. And in the 15s there, Poppy McCready qualifies for the 15 years final. 2 heats left. This is heat 10. The swimmers here are Eloise Perrett, Fenella Woodis, Sadie Roberts, Melissa Turnbull, Annabelle Compton, Isabella Ocaro, Charlotte Berry, Jessica Gable, Alexa Mann and Amelia Wright. And it's Isabella Ocaro leading the way in lane 4. Isabella has got Annabelle Compton close behind and Melissa Turnbull. Isabella Ocaro into the wall then in 25.91. And that's by far our quickest time so far in 19s and overs. So she'll qualify for the 19s and overs final with that. Annabelle Compton, 26.39, qualifies for the 17-18 final. Let's start with the 19s and overs there. Qualifying, Isabella Ocaro, Melissa Turnbull, Alexa Mann, Jessica Gable and Charlotte Berry. In the 17s and 18s, Annabelle Compton qualifies. From earlier heats, Daniela Bresner and Abigail McInerney qualify. And in the 16s there, Sadie Roberts qualifies, Amelia Wright qualifies. This is the final heat. This is heat 11. And the swimmers here are Kate Schillinger, Emma Hagberg, Millie Harris, Ellie Fries, Bethan Cook, Sky Carter, Paige van der Westhuizen, Josephine Klein, Sophie de Groot and Maya Al-Mohammed. It's Bethan Cook in the 19s and overs who's leading from Sky Carter, and Paige van der Westhuizen coming through very strongly here. Those three all in the 19s and overs. I think there'll be 1, 2, 3, and they are. It's Bethan Cook first, Paige van der Westhuizen second, then Sky Carter. Fourth is Josephine Klein. We have 2 16-year-old swimmers there in the outside lanes, Kate Schillinger and Maya Al-Mohammed. And we can confirm then qualifiers for the 19s and overs there. Bethan Cook, Paige van der Westhuizen, Sky Carter, Josephine Klein and Sophie de Groot. Those results now official. In the 17s and 18s, Ellie Fries qualifies, Emma Hagberg qualifies, and from an earlier heat, Tegan Gale qualifies. In the 16s there, both swimmers in that final heat, Kate Schillinger and Maya Al-Mohammed, qualify for their finals. We have one final race in this session. It's a swim-off, men's 50 metres butterfly. Sam Brilke for Corby and Achilles Bello Omenyo for Guildford City. These swimmers were tied for 12th place in the heats with 25.70. So the winner of this swim-off will be the second reserve for the men's 50 metres butterfly final. Our final race of this session then is a swim-off. So the target time for these two to beat is 25.70 seconds. 25.70. They're not going to breathe very much, are they? 25.70. A great chance to swim a second swim for these two, and they're very, very close again. What time are we going to get? Can we beat 25.70? We can. For both swimmers, well done. Sam Brilke, 25.62. Beating Achilles Bello Omenyo by 2/100ths of a second. So Sam Brilke is the second reserve for the men's 50 metres butterfly final. And that brings this heat session to a close. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching all of these swims. It's been very exciting racing again. We've got so many swimmers through to our finals. So if your swimmer that you are supporting has made it, we hope to see you back here and bring you the finals session tonight. Our next session begins in just under an hour. We'll be back at 1 p.m. when we have our next session of relay heats. It will be medley relay heats at 1 p.m. I hope the swimmer you've been supporting here swam a PB. That would be a massive achievement. We will be back at 1 p.m. And until then, thanks for watching. See you later.